And good morning, everyone. Good morning, and welcome back to another OSR morning live stream. Myself, GM Bluddworth, Richard. Good to have you in here. I'll wait for some more people to log in. This is going to be a regularly scheduled feature on my channel on Tuesday and Thursday mornings from 9 a.m. Eastern time till about 10:45-ish, possibly 11 o'clock. That way I do not step on the toes of Shadow and Sons. He usually does a premiere video at 11 o'clock, and then he comes on for his live stream on around 12-ish or so Eastern time. Much earlier for him because he's in California, so he's 3 hours earlier than that. And hey, Chris, good morning to you. I am going to shift to use here, and that way we can actually see your comments. And good morning. Good to see you. Thanks for being on with us last night. And yes, I am going to be talking about that as well. So Chris ran last night, and I will talk about that now. Chris ran last night an AD&D second edition. It's actually a two-shot, I believe, adventure set in the Dark Sun setting. So my first time playing in Dark Sun, and my character I have here. So here is my character sheet, and my character is a third level halfling fire cleric named Nock. He's an interesting character. I've never played, like I said, I've never played in that. So I did some researching into well, what exactly are fire clerics and how do they function, and how do halflings function in Dark Sun as well. And when everything is done, because we're going to be playing again next Wednesday evening at that is from 8 p.m. to roughly 10 p.m. Eastern time. We'll see how the adventure goes, but so far it was a lot of fun. I'm going to do a separate recap on that, probably later on, possibly tomorrow or so. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. So thanks a lot, Chris. And we were hosted by the Erudite DM on his channel. I cross-streamed it on my channel as well, or several of my platforms, and a bunch of people I've never played with before as well. Again, I'm going to do a full recap separately from today. So that's one other thing going on there. Hey, Takato, how's it going? And Takato was going to be another focus of this morning's chat as well, for twofold. So Takato is Stan over at Troll Den Painting, and a great channel, and one that I feature on my channel, and I'm getting ready to send. Send Stan a bunch of the miniatures from the Conan Red Nails set. What I did was I selected some key miniatures from this set. I will show you the miniatures here. So clearly I sent him the top row of 5 unique characters from, although I sent a different Conan, but Valeria, then there are Olmec and Talia, I believe her name is, and so like all of the key NPCs and the 2 main characters in the adventure. Now I've also pulled from the earlier starter set of the Conan Monolith's Conan some other characters to use as player characters, because I need 6 player characters. I'm sending Stan the Dragon, the Crawler, and then a couple of the other creatures as well. the of course the red nails, the totem with the teeth driven into them of those slain, and then the rest. I'm going to try to handle painting on my own. So I believe it's a total of like 13 figures that I am sending him. About five or six PCs, about four NPCs, then the dragon, the crawler, and the pillar. So yeah, it's a good little bundle. I'm mailing it out today. Hopefully he'll get that soon enough, because I'm looking to run this adventure. I am running this adventure at ShireCon on September 25th and 26th. I'm running the adventure twice because, with my medical condition and everything, that I went through the last couple of weeks, I didn't have the capacity of writing that second adventure I was going to do. And these are being written for Hyperborea 3rd edition. So I gave it kind of a test run at CNY RPG back in June. It went very well, and I didn't have any of the other background materials. I just recently bought this miniature set. So the Monolith Red Nails miniature set. And so there you have all of this stuff in there, including the maps and tokens and such. So I'm going to be fully utilizing that, and really looking forward to it. I think it's going to look phenomenal on the table, and when people come by, I'm going to be like, yeah, you see that dude over there, because he's going to be at ShireCon as well, and then at CNY when I'm running this again, he's the one that did all this painting here, and so hopefully that will drive him some additional consignments as well. So I'm really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to fully unleashing Hyperborea 3rd edition. It's a system I absolutely love, and it's one that works really well with the Hyborian Age setting, human-centric, and I just love anything Robert E. Howard, and so it kind of brings both things together really well. So so far that's been my gaming now, right? I'm preparing for a convention with all of that. I'm playing some AD&D 2nd edition. I'm actually playing something which has been a long time since I've had the opportunity to be a player. And then I have my other games that are going on. Last night, not last night, the night before, Tuesday night, we returned to my Greyhawk campaign. It's a Castles and Crusades campaign, and 5 of the 8 players were able to make it. And it's the nice thing about having a large group of players is that you don't necessarily need everybody to show up. It's in a city setting, so it's very easy to explain why player characters aren't there for that particular adventure, and so they had a pretty not a tremendously tough go at it, but they're fighting were-rats in the sewers, and they are so they're trying to get to the bottom of a bank heist, and they've pretty much pieced together that the bank was broken into most likely by a druid who is either aligned with or possibly even a were-rat, and they broke into the bank, and particularly into the silver vault of the bank, along with at least one rust monster, and went about trying to destroy the entire deposit of the silver, and the players kind of pieced this together, and they started to wonder, what is it about silver? And then, well, wait, I get why it's about silver. and they're were-rats, and so of course they would love to be able to destroy as much silver as possible, because silver gets converted into silver weapons, and those are quite lethal against lycanthropes in general, but particularly the were-rats. They wanted to pull this thing off, and so they've made 2 forays into the sewer complex, and the first time they ended up losing a player character. A player character died. A second was brought down to 0, so almost died. If he was 1 more point less, he would have died as well. I use in my campaign a system where your player character dies at below 0, up to the maximum of your minus levels of your Constitution modifier. So if you have a +2 Constitution modifier, your character is dead at -3. All right, and so the Paladin last week, not this past Tuesday, but the previous Tuesday, was brought down to 0 hit points, and he has no Constitution bonus. So he would have been dead at -1. And the rogue in the group was actually brought down to -3, which was beyond his Constitution bonus. So he was actually killed as well. And then I have some other rules, that they can only be raised dead at double their negative amount that they're allowed to attain, and they cannot be resurrected anything beyond -10. So, which is a standard rule, pretty much anyway. So yes, it is a much more lethal system that I'm using. And I think it works. So far, it's been working well. They have a large party if everybody shows up, and their challenges should be manageable, but not incredibly, certainly not easy. They shouldn't be steamrolling over anything, and with proper planning and with the right mix of player characters, they should do fine. So we have that out there. I am going to, I'll put the invite out in 1 second. All right. So I see Bear is in the channel as well. Hey, Bear, how's it going? So that's said and done. Now, next thing I wanted to talk about, because I was on Discord last night, and I was on Roger Rebbitz's Discord channel. Roger is the organizer for Central New York RPG Con, and a player of mine from 2 years ago, a young man, along with his father, they played in my Fallout game, along with Stan as well. Stan was in that game, and this young kid, he might have been about 12, I think, or roughly 12 years old, and he played a robot He played the robot in Fallout, and the robot had a buzzsaw, and he had an absolute blast. And I never, I wasn't thinking that Fallout would be such a brutal game until this kid started, buzzsawing everything that they encountered, from rad roaches to ghouls and whatnot. So it was really quite incredible. And then he played in a dropship game this past year at CNY. And again, his character ended up with like a chainsaw or something like that. So he joined my Discord last night, and he was like, "Oh, I'm really excited to be here and talking about it." I was like, "You know what? I am going to write an adventure for players like him, for younger players, and I am going to be writing that using Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles." So they will have the opportunities to play characters like that and whatnot. And so that is something, that's an adventure that I'm currently thinking about now, looking to write. I have to dig into the system and refresh my memory on the system a little bit. And I am going to debut that adventure at CNY next year. So next year at CNY, I'm going to be running 2 adventures. I'm going to be running the Hyperborea Red Nails, and then I'm going to be running Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the adventure that I'm writing particularly for that. CNY RPG had quite a number of teenagers there. So really quite surprising how many were there. And so I think that this is a great game system to introduce new players to role playing, and plus have something that is just a little bit, cartoonish and just action packed from beginning to end. So really looking forward to it. Should be a lot of fun. So anyway, now I'm going to send out that invite for people to come in and and talk about the topic of the day. So the topic of the day is something that I've been seeing come across my feed the last couple of days, and that is that YouTube is changing its monetization requirements for channels, new channels looking to gain monetization. And one thing that I've always been a big advocate for is for us in this space, particularly the OSR space, where we tend to be, a niche within a niche, and to bring all of these smaller channels together, networking with each other, cross-streaming with each other, boosting each other up, promoting each other's channels, and I do that on my channel through the featured system that is there. And hey, Bear, how's it going? Good morning to you. And so I really do promote other channels. I don't see that we're all eating from the same pie. I think that the pie has plenty of room for many, many of us. And since most of us are not biting more than, a 15,000 subscriber base anyway, it's not
15,000.
Well, yeah, some of the top OSR people are around 15,000.
Yeah, good for them.
Whether it's Eric Tenkar.
Yeah, Tank's a good guy. Tank's a buddy. We've known each other for years.
Yeah, the Greyhawk Grognard is in that.
And I know Joseph too, and they've all been, but it's taken them 15 years to get to those numbers.
Yes, so
that's the problem. But that's the problem.
Yeah.
So YouTube doesn't give a flying fuck about them. It doesn't give a flying fuck about you. It doesn't give a flying fuck about me. It doesn't care, because we don't make them money. In fact, hosting our videos costs them money.
Well, I don't know
we
about
are
that,
at the bottom of the. Oh, it does. No. Do you think server space is free? Do you think the bandwidth that's free? They got to pay for that. The electricity bills, the water bills, everything else. So everything in YouTube is boiled down to numbers.
Yeah.
How much money are you bringing in versus how much money does it cost us to have you on the platform? Why do you think they start killing channels after a while?
Oh yeah, no, I know, and they're looking to. So on February 1st, you will not be monetized unless you have 1,000 subscribers, which has always been the case anyway, or it's been the case for a long time.
Well, you can get monetized at 500 if you have the watch time.
Yeah, if you have the watch time, but they're going from a watch time of 4,000 hours to 8,000 hours within the year, or if you have something like crazy, like 20 million views on shorts in a month.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely insanity. I was like,
who the hell is getting 20 million views on shorts unless really you're a young female doing lifestyle type short videos, whether it's cosmetics or blah blah blah. It's like nobody racks in those kind of numbers.
No.
Or at least I don't believe so.
No, they don't. And this is the problem. So the problem is that YouTube had the, what's that Borat line? Look at me, I am king of the castle, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that's how they were for the really longest time. Vine came along and threatened them for about a minute before Vine collapsed under its own weight, and YouTube basically got all the Vine producers on YouTube
Right.
bringing their audiences with them, right? Rumble, for all of its, everybody, oh, Rumble, freedom, it does nothing. It does zero business. It is not a threat to YouTube. It has never been a threat to YouTube. And unless they really drastically stop being seen as the bastion of the crazy right-wing conspiracy theorists, which is, I'm not saying that's true, I'm just saying that's how they're perceived.
That's perception, yeah.
Yeah. Until they stop being perceived that way, they're never going to be a threat to YouTube. It's just the reality of it. But TikTok scared the living shit out of them.
Yeah.
Scared the living shit out of Facebook, scared the living shit out of Instagram, which is part of Facebook. And all of a sudden, they all started introducing some form of short content
Yeah.
for the attention span deficit crowd.
Yeah.
So TikTok, you can get 100 million views on a fucking TikTok easily. Right? If you got the right material and you're in the right vein, you're going to get those views. So YouTube thinks you need to have those views as well. And that is the worst thing they're doing for themselves. They are literally shooting themselves in the foot right now.
Yeah.
And everyone's telling them, hey, you're shooting yourself in the foot because you offer an alternative. And that's what people want. They don't want more of the same. They want something different.
Right.
YouTube doesn't listen because it's all down to numbers. Hello,
Yeah.
Chris Moneymaker. Can you make me some money, please? Please, sir, I need money. I need money.
So I mean, obviously they will never be able to compete with TikTok because TikTok is backed by the Chinese
China.
government. Yeah. You know,
Tencent. Who's the major shareholder of Tencent? Oh yes, the People's Party, the People's Communist Party of China.
you cannot compete with them. Create you had your own niche. You didn't need to try. You know, it's like D&D trying to monetize the same way that Minecraft is monetized, or the other shooter game. I'm slipping my mind now. What the hell that is? A Fortnite.
Yeah.
It was like, no, D&D or any tabletop role playing game is not Fortnite. I was like, if anything, if they really wanted to monetize, and make D&D money, like D&D hit $1 billion. You need D&D Go. All right, because Monopoly Go racks in like $2 billion.
Yeah.
And all you had to do was make a D&D Go. And, but they just don't know how to. Well, they didn't create Monopoly Go, obviously. That wasn't
no
thing. And they hate adopting. They hate adopting software companies to make their own thing, and then they try to piggyback off of them. And then once Wizards of the Coast, or Hasbro loses interest with them, they dump them in a heartbeat.
No, but you're not wrong on that. And the other problem is, and this is where I'm going to get spicy. All right, so everybody watching, get ready to clip this so you can use it against me. Who was in charge of Google when they decided that Google Shorts was an idea?
I'm not sure who was.
That lady whose name I can't remember. Some lady, okay?
Yeah.
Who was in charge of WotC when they started getting into this whole thing about monetizing?
Oh, Cynthia Williams. Yeah.
Some lady.
Yeah.
So you got a bunch of men sitting around looking at the market, and they go, well, these guys are doing good in this marketplace, but these are where our strengths are. So we can try and venture in there, which is a risk, or we can double down on the things we do really well and reinforce our base foundation of business and hopefully do well for ourselves. And then, yes or no, the board decides which way they go, and they make their choices, sometimes the right one, sometimes the wrong one. A bunch of women sitting around are going, why is this bitch more popular than me? Yeah. And that's what drives the mentality in business for women. Yeah. And you see this over and over and over again in the corporate world. Women who feel that someone is more popular than them will destroy the company they're in charge of trying to achieve that goal.
Like Cracker Barrel.
Yes.
Yeah, Cracker Barrel is a perfect example of that.
Yes.
Like, oh, no, we need to modernize our look. No, your whole freaking
freaking
brand is a down-home country.
But this is why women drive the majority of divorce, because they got loyal good man at home, but look at that thing over there I don't have. Well, I'm not going to worry about my base. I want new thing.
Yeah.
So the monkey branching.
TSR.
Sorry, go ahead.
Who was in charge of TSR when it went under?
Oh, Williams. What's her
Yeah,
Lorraine
Williams.
or whatever? Yeah, yeah.
Another Cynthia.
Lorraine Williams.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
another
just
William.
but
women
this-
named Williams, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. But this is the mentality of monkey branching, which is a very female trait, right? This is something they talk about in the psychology of dating and the psychology of relationships. Women will monkey branch. Men tend to want to build a stable, like most men, not all. There are some crazy men out there, but most men want to build a stable foundation to build their empire upon, right, or their
Right.
kingdom, or whatever the case may be. Meanwhile, women are just monkey branching around. So I get into a lot of trouble with this because I grew up all around women all my life. In fact, most of the people in my home life were women. And I was backstage with 4 sisters, 2 aunts in the house, my grandmother, my mother, the whole night. I was backstage at the women's show. And they don't like that I understand their psychology better than most men because I grew up seeing it in action and being able to, and being smart enough to analyze the patterns and go, oh, you're all just creatures of popularity. That's all you are. You're an entire species that gives a fuck about what people think about them.
Yeah. That means you probably got browbeat to death like I did as a child. I grew up in a house full of women, and although my grandmother would switch me sometimes, most of the time it was a 4-day lecture where they'd tag team off and on as they'd come into the room. If I did something.
To be honest, my grandmother was the one that I could respect because she was born in like 1917 or 1916 or some shit like that. So she was a tough as nails chick who grew up through the Depression. You know what I mean?
My
So she had a pragmatism.
Yeah. No, I grew up with, from the time that I got married, several years later, my father-in-law passed away. So it was just in my household, it was myself, my wife, my 2 daughters, and my mother-in-law. So I was surrounded with, but again, my mother-in-law was born in the 1930s and, very, very traditional Sicilian, mother-in-law. So, and my wife is fairly traditional as well. Although she does have a concern about like she'll try to tell me, oh, you can't wear that going there. I was like, nobody's going to look at me. Who's looking at me?
Exactly. Who gives a fuck what I look like?
Who's going to notice what shoes I'm wearing?
But here's what you're not understanding. The other women are going to be looking at her, and then they look at you as her accessory.
I was like, I say this all the time. I says, once I go to a wedding, all right, I walk in the door. Once I sit down at that table, I'm not getting up again. I'm there for the next 5 hours without saying nobody's going to see my, from my chest on down. They're not seeing a damn thing.
Okay, so let's bring this back to YouTube since this is the
let's
topic.
get back to YouTube.
We're getting off on being old men bitching about women, which is it's our literal
live stream, and this goes all over the place.
Oh, I know. Anyway, I've been here before. I just feel guilty because sometimes I'm the reason it goes all over the place.
But anyway, let's get back to our topic. So, I've always been big on supporting smaller channels and trying to push them over, get them up there. And if I go to my featured channels, so here we go with my featured channels here, and you can see that I have to put my view so I can go here. So, I
don't see my channel anywhere in there.
Not at 1,000 yet. I know there's a couple that broke over, and I have to get back over to there. A couple don't want to be monetized. Like James, for some reason, I think he had monetization one time and he got rid of it. I guess he likes the freedom of it. Bear, I think you did the same thing, right? You were monetized and now you're...
No, I had a channel with 2,500 subs and then I killed it, nuked it from orbit. Took off and blew it the fuck up and was just going to focus on my radio channel. But more people wanted my RPG content back.
Right.
So I kind of bit the bullet and restarted the channel, and now I'm at like 317 subs. And if I can get to 500, where I make maybe make like $50 a month off the channel, that would be nice. Get monetized for that, but I don't want.
Are you under the old monetization rules though? Since you
I just need 500.
That's all.
I just need to get another 100 and something.
All right, so I'm going to put you on there to boost you up there.
Do the membership.
You want to do it.
Yeah, and I can do the membership thing. I can do super chats, and that's where you actually make the money, not from ad revenue.
And that's where you can start hyping or being hyped too, which is their other big thing, right? But hyping, the way that hyping works is that it only works on a device, which I'm like, that's so freaking stupid too.
Yeah, I think that's
what I'm saying. It only works on a device. It's like their shorts right? Their shorts, you can only do their shorts in vertical and basically on a cell phone. I don't think you could do shorts even on an iPad.
Oh, I make my shorts on my laptop, but I have to do them in the vertical, like you said, in the vertical.
Oh, I see. I don't even have. It's just such a complicated thing with the.
Yeah, and they
Like
have to be less than 3 minutes long. And
I do them on my cell phone, and as soon as if the alarm goes off, the volume gets knocked out. If a phone call comes in, the volume gets
yeah, it's
knocked out.
aggravating as
If a
hell, isn't it?
text comes in,
Yeah,
the volume gets knocked out. I had that with my short I did yesterday or the day before, and Will Payne Sprinties jumped in and he says, "Yeah, your volume kicked off." I'm looking at it now and I'm like, "Oh shit!" I could see where I come up to turn off the alarm,
yeah,
and
and there it
no
goes.
volume after that. So I just privated that one, and made a new one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a pain. I don't know how to do that. The vertical
Last
on the thing.
Yeah, last year I bit the bullet, and instead of just using free software, I got DaVinci Resolve, which is a pay for it one time thing, and it works pretty well. I like it pretty well. If you ever use it, I can show you. It's like a 4-step process to put it into the vertical
Restream
aspect
lets you
ratio.
record in vertical as well, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Bo, I need you to watch my shorts. It's
yeah,
like, without you, I wouldn't have known that the volume was knocked out of that thing. But no, I try to like my shorts. All of my short videos is like my shelf tour, you know, and I really do encourage you, Bo in particular, to watch that shelf tour so that you can be like, hey,
Bo,
I have
come
that
on,
game,
Bo.
So
yeah. With my shorts, I can't seem to get much more than about 300 views unless they're 20 seconds or less. And the only ones I've done like that are the ones where I'm advertising DarkCon and I'm talking about a
right,
particular DM's game and I'm intentionally just trying to knock it out. But that's not
yeah,
my natural way. I'm a long-winded, bloviated kind of guy. So
yeah. My
it's hard for me to pare
both
it
my
down.
shorts and my long form, and I've said this before. I am more interested in comments
Mhm.
than I am in views.
Oh yeah,
All
well
right,
comments are drive
because
views anyway. I mean,
comments to
anything.
me is engagement.
Yeah.
Comments to me, I can build off of those.
Hmm.
I can take suggestions from those. I can, it could drive me in a new direction.
Hmm.
Someone can come in and comment and say, "Hey, take a look at this game system or whatever," and then it drives me over to there. A view does nothing for me
Hmm.
as far as growth, as far as learning about new things, as far as nothing. It's just a view. I don't know if you're a subscriber, if you're a returning person that hasn't subscribed or whatever. Like, I have the breakdown of what my categories of subscribers and passers through
Yeah,
are,
but as far as the
and
individual,
my subscriber base is a majority of my viewership, which is
that's
kind of an
actually,
anomaly, I
yeah,
think,
that's
for others,
unusual.
because a
Most
lot of
people
people
have
say,
about
"Oh, only like
70%.
20% of my viewers are subscribers." Mine is like almost 60% of my viewers are subscribers. So
Yeah,
I know, I mean, the only part of that data that really helps me, mentally, as far as my channel is concerned, is that I know that what I'm producing, my subscribers want to
like,
watch,
yeah. And it's
and
probably
so,
also because you do a lot of live like this, and they come
well,
and
yeah, I've
catch,
been
or
picking that up
they
more
catch
because
it
the,
not long
the
afterward.
lives I have
Yeah.
seen, I know
They're
Bear is
coming to
shaking
see
his head,
you.
but my live streams have been getting more views.
Oh no, no, yeah,
Mhm.
but later you'll get the views on the live streams, but they do nothing for your channel's growth. That's the thing where we all learn the hard way is that
I
live
wonder
is
if I pick up
fun,
subscribers from live streams. I think I
very rare.
do.
You can check
Um,
each video. Each
uh,
video will tell you if you picked up a
yeah, I know.
subscriber in your
Yeah,
analytics.
I
But I know
think
Max Liao's having this problem over at Legion of Myth. I'm having this problem. A lot of us are having this problem. It's just a question of if we're not talking about what the zeitgeist wants, we're not getting the subscribers, we're not
right.
getting the views.
Well, that's where supporting each other comes in, because I know
Mhm.
when we're all jointly, and I'll say, "Hey, everybody, find Bear's channel. If you're a subscriber to me and you're not subscribed to Bear, go subscribe to Bear. Go subscribe to Chris Moneymaker's channel as well. Go to Takato and go to these other, individuals out there. And that, I don't think that YouTube does enough with the featured, list that you might have on your channel. I think that they should look at my featured, and those should be promoted out every time I upload a video. There should be featured as well.
At the very least, they should be on your end screen as one of the.
Yeah, they should be on like
on the
yeah.
side.
Take a look at my featured. Yeah, that's a cool idea actually. Is on your end screen you should have a thing and say promote featured channels. On those as well, and that would be a great end screen inclusion to have on there.
I'll tell you, my issue is with all this has always been one. I'm trying to do so much other stuff that I don't. Until very recently, I haven't posted enough. I'll get hot for a little while, but then there'll be a 6-month period where I don't put anything up. And everything just kind of dies that way. I just got my 1,000 2 weeks ago, and I've been on since right after the first adpocalypse. So it was like everybody was like, "Hey, it's easy to make money," and then the apocalypse happened. It's like, "Oh, it's hard to make money." And now I'm like, "Oh, okay. Look, this one video I got 360 hours worth of watch time on it." Now it was a very of the moment video. It had to do with the Dark Sun announcement, but and it was a half-hour long video.
Were you pro or con?
I was con. You can watch it. It's on.
It's okay. I'll watch it at some point. But I'm con on both versions of Dark Sun, original and this garbage.
I'm
like Dark Sun.
I've been. I'll go ahead and give you some context. I've been DMing the same 2E Dark Sun game since 1992. So I'm pro.
God bless you, man. Not everything's for everybody. That's the point,
Yeah.
right? Like it's okay that you like Dark Sun. I don't have to like Dark Sun,
Yeah.
and you don't have to dislike Dark Sun. It's the thing. This is what my whole channel is about, and this is something I'm always going on about. Is can we stop the hello?
That was perfect
Can we
time.
stop the goddamn tribalism?
Yeah.
Can we stop the I'm right, you're wrong bullshit? Because we do too much of it, and the problem is it's now tearing us apart in this hobby, and we're not supporting each other, which is why I come on with Richard, because at least I know Richard's making an effort to support. I don't go on anybody else.
Yeah.
And then, like I'm a guest on Legion of Myth sometimes. That's it, because I know Richard's trying to build something where we're all supporting each other, regardless of your OSR, new SR, 5E, 2E, 3E, 4E, whatever E, and that's important. But go ahead.
I'll go ahead and tell you my what it was. I didn't shit on 5E or 5.5, even though I don't like them. Like you said, different strokes for different folks on that. Yeah. What my conclusion was, and people are like, "Well, you don't know that." And I'm like, "Yes, I do, because they told us that in the announcement." Did you watch the announcement?
Yep. Well, I live streamed the announcement and
so in that when they went through the art for the Dark Sun stuff, especially the stuff for the particular for the city states, I was like, what the hell is that? They're completely, aside from some place names and the names of the Sorcerer Kings, it looks like they're completely shit canning the entire lore and canon of Dark Sun and doing their own thing. And it's like, why? I mean, I understand it's got a built-in fan base that you're trying to get, even though that's extremely niche. But why not take on one of the big criticisms of WotC and make your own, use that material and call it something else and make an actual new setting? WotC's been living off the corpse of TSR for 28 years now.
They don't want the responsibility to make their own setting.
Because they basically made a new setting.
They've actually made their own thing. They've got
guys
for it.
All shat on it. Exactly. Every time. There is a fantastic setting that WotC made called the Nentir Vale. It was the core setting for 4th edition D&D, and it is to this day one of the best modern settings they've ever made. It's absolutely perfect for running D&D games in as a setting. Doesn't matter what system you use, what edition you use. The setting of Nentir Vale and then the larger world they created around it are amazing and original and new and interesting and vanilla enough that anyone could like it because it's basic a D&D setting. It's not got any quirks or it's like D&D but sky ships, or it's like D&D but lightning train. No, it's just fucking D&D.
Yeah.
But because everybody so rejected 4th edition this setting got stigmatized in the mind of the WotC corporate that this is everything 4E is poison. So as a result, we taught them this lesson.
Yeah.
We, the community, the purchasers, the gamers, taught them this lesson. Then when they brought 5e, and everything was suddenly Greyhawk and Forgotten Realms again, and we purchased it like maniacs as a community, not all of us individually, but as the fans, we taught them this sells. This is what people want.
Now, was that I've never heard of that? Was that more than a single release, or was it like?
Oh no, it was in the core rules. It was in the DMG. They released a great monster folio for it, which is the threats to Nentir Vale. They did tons of articles on it, and they were just about to release the Nentir Vale source book when 4E got canceled.
That's the reason why nobody counts it as a campaign setting. Yeah, they didn't include it enough to really be a campaign setting.
Well, yeah, they did. That's right. I've got all the material. It's a real setting, and
that's like
trust
with
me,
5e. I don't consider any of that stuff except for Ravenloft, Forgotten Realms, and Greyhawk a 5e setting. A 5e revivification of the setting, because you release one thing for it. One set of releases, even if it is 3 books that are bundled together, and then say, "Oh, that's it. That's gone." That's just an addition to an old. That's not a. If they did that with a new setting, I wouldn't like. What's a good example? Some of the stuff that they brought over from Magic. Those weren't really settings. Those were just kind of here's a little book, that you can plug in.
I hate to break the news to you, brother. That's your 2E bias shining through, because 2E spoiled us with settings and books and boxes and everything else, and ultimately
I'm just saying,
bankrupted the company.
when I say they've only really come out with Eberron, that's the reason that I only count Eberron as a setting, because it was the only one that was actually supported.
But that's 3rd edition Eberron.
I know, but it's WotC is what I'm saying. I'm talking about in the history of WotC, and you went back to 4th edition, so.
Yeah, but then Nentir Vale is a setting. I'm just saying, like these. So you were saying 5e in a setting, but I'm just saying there are settings out there that they've tried to pull off and haven't had much success with since WoW.
They didn't fully support it, so.
They did, dude. I'm telling you right now, there is a metric shit ton of material published.
You said they didn't put out the
including
setting
novels.
book,
They had compiled a setting book when 4E got canceled because of us as a community and consumer group shitting all over 4E.
So,
had we not, that would have come out. It would have been released. But it didn't get released. It was finished and sitting there. But the point is that even if you don't have a single book for it all, there is literally, through articles in the Dragon magazine, adventures in the Dungeon magazine, material in lots of different places that you were buying stuff that was essential for 4E. The entire setting's there. There's an entire beautiful setting waiting for players to use, and it's a great setting. It's a fantastic setting.
I have to say, I'll disagree with you on that, and we'll move on.
Well, if your theory is that the only way a setting can be considered a setting is to have a sole singular book released for it, we'll disagree. Absolutely.
No, I didn't
My
say
publishing stuff,
book, but you said that the setting, that the campaign setting book, whatever you called it, was not released. That it was going to be, but that's woulda, coulda, didn't. Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
But they released 30 things before it that was all set in the same place. Is my point. It was all there.
I said, it's not a big enough deal to argue about. Let's move on. It's just.
All right. I'm just trying to understand your quality of what your qualifying requirements for a setting to be considered a setting. That's all I'm trying to figure out.
It's for it to have the actual campaign setting with the rules and all that put out that are special for it, and then to be supported from there.
Then my company's never released a setting either, because I put small versions of the settings in my core books. So I guess I haven't released a setting either.
I agree with that statement. But
I disagree. I disagree. Then that's fine. We can disagree. We can agree to disagree. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, because whether or not they come out with, because not everybody puts out, like, what becomes the standard of what is the setting then? Does it need a box set in order to become a standard, or is a book enough?
I would say,
hey, without a box set with maps and blah, 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 and all these other things in there, that it doesn't quite qualify as a setting.
I would say, as an example, that Ravenloft in 5th edition could be considered, if it hadn't already been done, it could be considered a setting, because they put out an adventure for it, and then they put out now 2 books that basically expand the setting. although they've murdered it. But
It's
yeah,
like, yeah, because Ravenloft was an adventure module.
Yep.
Even its second one was still an adventure module.
yeah,
It
and
did
then
not become a setting
until
until
second edition, yeah.
deep into second edition.
Well, in
And I don't think it
90,
necessarily improved from the fact that it was made a setting. Actually, I think that they probably ruined it because they made it a
yeah.
setting.
Now, if you're saying deep into second edition, does that mean you've only seen the hardcover book and not like the two other
I
box?
don't have any of that in the second
Okay, so
edition.
you
I
don't
have
know about the
most of
red
second
box or the
edition, but I
black
don't
box.
have
Yeah,
settings for second edition.
and the couple of dozen things that they put out for it. So
But
yeah, it actually came out it was one of the early ones that they put out for second edition. So it
in
predated.
what, like second edition, like in the
So
90s?
they put it out the year after they released second edition.
so
Right? So
like
second edition is
1990.
It
89.
came out in
So
90
90
or roughly
Ravenloft
90?
comes out. Yeah, roughly
Yeah.
it's in 90. Roughly
All right.
Ravenloft gets released. The Realm of Terror box set. You know what I mean? I don't know anybody who had it personally, but that's fine. Just that
Yeah.
whole vampire D&D mix-up. None of my people cared about. Right? We were all more like, let's slay dragons and have fun.
I don't avoid 5e rules. I avoid 5e because of the instance and waging a culture war. Yeah, insistence on waging a culture war.
Yeah, especially the second half of it.
Well, yeah. I mean, 5e was workable with just a few things like the death saves and that kind of nonsense needed to be stripped away. But once they hit Tasha's Cauldron of Everything was the nail in the coffin of it being D&D, because then you just made it, and to steal from RPG Pundit's thing, every player character became a gray glob of goo that you can just morph into whatever you wanted. Everything became a skin suit. You had no more racial differences between characters. You had no more class differences. You were able
words
to
didn't mean anything anymore.
take whatever you wanted. You started getting players. It really did attract the worst of the min-maxers that were out there, because I'm just going to take first level in these three, classes, so that I can do all of these different tacked on features and be super powerful at first level, and then I will follow whatever path it just, so again, it was D&D up until about 2018, 2019. And then thereafter, it became something else. It became Wizards of the Coast fantasy RPG, a super heroic fantasy RPG, I should say, because that's what it became. I know you're not going to like that, Bear, but that's what it became. It became the super heroic fantasy RPG.
I will accept the word heroic. I will not accept the word super heroic, because
you know exactly what I mean by it.
I know what you mean, but it's a misnomer to call it super heroic. Super heroic is a very specific concept. A heroic level, I agree, it's absolutely heroic.
Yeah.
It's over the top sometimes, but you can fix it. They put rules in the DMG to do that, and people just ignore them and pretend that no, look, here's a solution. I don't see your solution. I want to keep bitching about this thing. All right, well, do what you want.
So.
Sorry, Chris was about to say something.
Oh yeah, I was agreeing with him. When it's that hard to die, you get into Wolverine territory.
It's not that hard to die. I've wiped out first level parties in the starting encounter of Mines of Vandelver.
When you're talking to, and first of all, first level parties, and secondly, that falls under the oil. A DM can run it any way he wants to. You can, and I know
I use the rules as written. I use the rules as written and killed plenty of players. I've had plenty of TPKs at level 1 to level 5. Yeah. This idea that the game is you can't kill players is absolutely an absurd concept that was created by people who just want to hate on it.
That's funny that you play level 5, because that's when everybody says that they pretty much quit. They restart a campaign at level 5.
Actually, level 10 seems to be the max campaign people go for in the game. Most people don't play past.
I'm just saying, when I talk to people, that's kind of like where we hit that, and that's about the sweet spot, and then we start over. Like you said, some people do go to level 10, some people go higher, especially if they're running.
Very few go past it, which is weird. And if you look at the numbers from things like Roll20 and things like that, the campaigns that are run, and that's where you get your best in, D&D Beyond, all that. It's a level 10 top for most people. Like you're gonna see very few campaigns go past level 10. You're right, there is this level 5 stop point, but a lot of people also want to start at level 3.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah. By the way, we were not to go back to it for too long, but we were talking about Ravenloft, and I thought, hey, I've got a list of everything that was released for Ravenloft before 1997 because I've still got this from an old Dragon magazine.
Nice.
That was a quiz on to win tickets to Gen Con 97, but
Cool.
that's all Ravenloft right there.
Wow.
Those are all Ravenloft releases. So yeah, there was a whole lot more than that hardcover book for 2E. I'm not saying that you have to love it. I'm just saying that a lot of people don't know about any of that stuff. They just know about the hardcover book, and they're like, "Oh well, the third edition one was so much better." It's like, well, you haven't really looked at the others to compare.
I'm going to disagree a little bit with Bo on this one here. That I really do like my system of if you have a positive con bonus, that you can go to 1 point beyond that negative. So if you have a +2 at -3, you're dead. All right.
That seems reasonable. It makes Constitution an
a little bit more a little bit more important than just I get an extra +1 hit point.
I think I've got a really high con poison
lends to the idea that my character is physically tough, and not just physically tough to have more hit points on the front end, on the front end, but physically tough that I can take more damage. I like making all of the attribute bonuses actually meaningful, so nothing becomes truly a dump stat. And especially with a system like BX, where you're rolling 3d6 and going down the line. Most people would be like, "Oh, I don't really need a +1 charisma bonus."
Mm-hmm.
Well, I use charisma bonus to impact more than just your reactions. I use charisma bonus that you can use that for an initiative bonus. It shows leadership and boldness and whatever in combat, and so you're going to be less reluctant to act in combat, and so that charisma bonus is going to translate to an initiative bonus, making it a little bit more proactive in what your character is doing.
I can see that making sense.
More meaning to that. I do the same thing with a wisdom bonus. Wisdom is you have a good tactical sense. Intelligence is a good tactical sense. Wisdom is you can read the situation very well and be a little bit more proactive in what you're going to do.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about the con. If you were going against actual people, you're more of a people person, so you're kind of more tuned into what maybe their little micro facial tics and their body language and all that kind of stuff. So you can maybe be like, okay, it looks like they're getting a little hot, but they're trying to hide it. I'm going to go ahead and get in here before that. Maybe on the first round.
How does homebrew used for setting usurp the use of the word? Yeah, can you not have a homebrew setting?
No, but Bo said now if you make your own setting and they erroneously call it homebrew, usurping the meaning of the word. So I think that's what he's asking about.
Usurping the word of homebrew or of setting?
I think the guy's asking for clarification on what Bo said.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I know that's what he's asking.
Yeah.
But BX has group initiative. Yeah. How does that work? I typically don't do group initiative.
Yeah, neither do I.
So, in BX, yes, but in any other things, I typically don't do group initiative.
It speeds things up, but aside from that,
yeah,
I don't.
I don't have, like, in my current campaign, I'm not even having players roll initiative. their character has an initiative score that is going to improve as they become more powerful, and their opponents, their monsters, have an initiative score, and we go based on who is who is faster, um, based on their initiative score, and they can choose. I'm not going to act now. I'm going to hold off, um, and then they will go following the last in line, basically. Um, Once everybody else is gone, and then they can act if they want to. But for the most part, I don't want to. The less dice rolling, the better. And then, I will use situation, the actual situation, to decide, well, even though you have a higher initiative score because of your location and where this is coming from and whatnot, you're actually going to be able to function beforehand, and then we go back to normal initiative score beyond that. So
Yeah.
I leave it very, very kind of open-ended, as far as what initiative is going to look like at the time. The only time I use, not even Shadow Dark doesn't use group initiative. It uses individual, but it starts with whoever rolls highest, and that
Yeah, I
begins
saw
there.
you playing Shadow Dark last night.
Say again?
I said, I saw you playing Shadow Dark last
We
night.
weren't playing Shadow Dark last night. We were
No, what were you
playing
using?
We were playing 2E.
2E.
2E. Really?
Yeah.
How'd you get Zane and Bunny involved in that?
They just wanted to help out, I guess. Yeah, Bunny, she was like, I'm dreading it because AD&D is hard. And then she didn't really.
Yeah.
It's not hard. If the DM does what he's supposed to do, you just kind of use your imagination and don't do a whole lot of math, Tell me
Fair
what you want
enough.
to do. That's all you got to do. But to answer the question before, now this is just my own personal definitions based on context from years and years of discussions online. Homebrew, I see as something you've come up with yourself, whether it be an adventure, a setting, whatever. While house rules are where you've made changes to the mechanics, but homebrew is more lore and house rules more mechanical.
I agree with that. Yeah, that's how I see it too. I've really grown to like group initiative. 5 years of using it, and it has worked well.
Yeah. Well, like we said before about the different additions, different strokes for different folks. Some people really like a certain thing that other people just absolutely cannot stand. Different people get different things out of the gaming experience.
Weighing down the boat. Yeah. Without initiative, how do magic users and clerics have their spells spoiled? Oh, by others having a higher, moving against them beforehand. So
yeah, he didn't say he didn't have initiative. He just
I have initiative. They're just not rolling for it. It's not random.
It's built into their character sheet.
Yeah, it's built into their character sheet. It's built into their opponents. So like a goblin might have just a, well, I look at their armor class and see, well, how much of that is actually dexterity based, and so that will add in. So let's say a goblin might have like a 3 initiative score. All right, a magic user, with an intelligence bonus of a +1, a first level magic user with an intelligence bonus of a +1, with a wisdom bonus of a +1. Let's say that they would have a 3 as well, and so combined up against that, because they would have the 2 +1s from their modifiers, and then their level. Level always adds +1 to the initiative score as well, and then that goblin would basically attack the wizard simultaneously. Let's say if the goblin hit during the simultaneous, there's a chance that it breaks the spell. If the spell fires off beforehand, then there's no chance of breaking it. And so it kind of worked. I mean, it's not something that that I've encountered where everybody in the party is always going first. That's not been the case, even at first level, facing first level creatures or up to 3 HD creatures. I found that so far their opponents have been acting in the middle of the combat for the most part. So far, after 4 sessions, it's been, well, three sessions with combat, it's been working fine. But yeah, we'll see. It's a test of a new system of my own that, I'm just checking to see that it works out.
Yeah, last night I was wanting to make sure that I didn't slow things down any more than I had to. I tried something a little different, not in the way that I ran it, but in the way that I recorded it.
Have a good night, Bo. I'm sorry I have to cut you off, Chris. I just wanted to
acknowledge. Yeah, sorry, I'm right now I'm not looking at the screen. I'm fixing I'm fixing Bunny's character sheet where I'd screwed it up last night. Okay. But yeah, I wrote, instead of usually I write the initiative kind of over to one side with everybody's, and I was like, sometimes that gets a little wonky, and I didn't want to sit there, trying to line it. So I just drew where I keep track of your hit points. Like this.
Yeah.
I just drew a little side thing here to record your initiatives in.
Yeah.
As well, and that way it's like, okay, that's super easy. I know where everybody is. I'm not having to try to figure out the abbreviations on anybody, and I can then easily line that up with the initiatives rolled by the by the opponents, which I pre-rolled last night too to help speed things up, because that's one thing I'm used to. Like I said, I've had a game that's been going on for 34 years now. Now, different players have come and gone, but it's the same continuity. So I'm used to very long, and I'm also used to overland mainly, not so much dungeon. So I was like, okay, I got to do where I'm weak. I got to do the things to help me, and pre-do those as much as I can. But yeah, on the initiative, that was the one thing I did different than I normally do.
Yeah, I'm going to share something real quick.
Yeah.
And let me just let me see how I can change this. Let's see how I change this.
After you're done with that,
there we go. So these are the player characters in my last session, right? And you see their level is on the first number, and then their initiative score. So the first character has a 7 initiative score. She's she's like an urban ranger. It's called a pacer in Castles and Crusades. Then the magic user elf, magic user fighter. His is a 6. Then the cleric is a 5. There's cleric, and then a warrior priest is a 4, and then the fighter is actually a 3. All right, all based on level, and then various attribute modifiers that boost that up. Now, when they're facing a were-rat, were-rats are running in at 6. So were-rat with 3 for their HD and 3 for their dexterity, their implied dexterity bonus to their armor class. And so they were coming in simultaneously with the elf, the fighter magic user elf, and then it's called the elf magi in Castles and Crusades. It's basically a BX elf, racist class. And so if they were attacking anyone else that was casting a spell, then they would have been able to, including the elf magi, then they could have in fact interrupted spells being cast. So it works.
And high numbers are good here, right?
It has been working. Let's see. We got. I didn't use initiative in my system per se. I call it advantage. Each PC rolls each turn to see if they attack or defend. That's interesting.
Hey, I've got a
Hey, Chris,
question.
how's it going? Say again, Chris?
I've got a question for you.
Sure.
You did see where I had sent you the contact information for the one fellow that we talked about getting on your channel?
Yeah, he's not gotten back to me.
Yeah, he can be kind of slow. It took him. I thought he was ghosting me there for a while, but he was just prepping for Gen Con. And then after he got done with Gen Con, I was just making sure you had reached out to him.
Yeah, no, I did. I reached out.
I sent it to you like while you were probably really bleary headed on a bunch of pain meds.
Well, yeah. The last 3 weeks was not, not anything I was thinking about. At gaming, and then I have some things like I have Emperor's Choice, the guys from Emperor's Choice coming on this Sunday. So that I'm kind of gearing up for that, and then I'm going to have Tom Wilson, the organizer of ShireCon, come on sometime around 1 month prior to his convention to boost that out.
Is that the one that's held in a VFW?
Say again?
Is ShireCon the one that's held in a VFW?
Yes. That's a great convention. I mean, that's a great site too. The only downside to it is the closest place to stay near there, if you're going for the 2 days, if you're staying over the 2 days, is it's about 35 minutes away or so. There is like an Airbnb and a bed and breakfast and everything. Takato can tell you probably the best. But I know a lot of people say, oh, there's nothing closer than that. No, you can go to like Rhinebeck in New York, and that's about 35 minutes away, 35, 40 minutes away. And there's hotels in Rhinebeck. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you don't have to be, an hour and a half, 2 hours away from the location. And you also don't have to be at the motel hell, Airbnb that, or the other, one. I think the bed and breakfast is probably a little bit better. But again, Ducato is the one to talk about those. But as far as
that here.
Say again?
I said, I wish I could do that here, but my local VFW is a little more than just a dive bar. So,
yeah. Well, yeah, this is a really nice VFW. I mean, great venue, great museum. I mean, there's stuff that's in the VFW too is really nice. I mean, it's far better than my local one. And the actual gaming spaces are pretty good too. Plus, it has 3 bars. Yeah, well, 2.5 bars. It has 2.5 bars, so that's nice. And good food. It has a nice
half a bar.
And they make good food there. Reasonably priced food as well. Oh, it's a great convention. I will go to that convention every year, except for freaking 2027, because I have to go to Canada for a freaking Canadian wedding.
Why is it a half bar?
Because it's not like a fully stocked bar. It's I don't think they have the beer on tap there. I think it's just
liquor,
just shots and things like that.
Cool.
Yeah, Ducato, you can remind. I think the top bar, the one on the second floor, I think is just a refrigerator, so you can get your bottled beers and everything. There's no tap. There's no tap beer on that one. It's the other bar downstairs that has the tap. Yeah, the area is beautiful. Oh yeah, it's beautiful driving in there. That's why it's called ShireCon. It's like you're driving into a Shire-like valley, going in there. The bartender has one arm. I don't think. No, the bartender has both arms. Yeah, it's not or he's not half as tall either. He's not that. But anyway, yeah, that's a great one, Chris. If you could make that one, yeah, I mean, you'd really enjoy that one as well. Or CNY. CNY is a tremendous convention. That's
Yeah,
such
I
a great
think before I
convention.
can do much traveling on conventions, I got to wait for my wife to be able to go to all the places, all the foreign places she wants to go to. So
Oh
all our
yeah,
travel money, like in 2027, this will be cool. But she's got this huge thing where we're going to Egypt and Jordan, and we'll be in the Valley of the Kings when there's a total eclipse, and
yeah,
you know, but that's super expensive. So I don't have any money
yeah.
to travel to cons right now. But here in a couple of years, she'll have most of that out of her system because she's like, I'm getting too old to travel now, because she's just turned 52 and she's diabetic, type 1 diabetic. So she's like, I got to travel while I can. I'm like, okay, you make a good argument there, and I want to go to these places too, even though I don't like traveling much because I'm a picky eater.
Well,
But aside from being the picky eater, I don't mind traveling. But I just have to bring a lot of snacks with me. So I live
yeah,
off like granola bars and stuff while I'm at other places. But she once in the next couple of years, once that's done, I may start doing some more con travel, and she may come with me, but I don't know because she is she's one of my players and has been for about 11 or 12 years now. But I don't, sometimes the girlfriend or the wife likes playing with their husband in that one group, and they're like, "Oh, I just like playing under you. I don't like playing with anybody else." I've seen that several times with people's girlfriends or wives, where they'll play in a group where their husband or boyfriend DMs, but they when they're invited to another group that has one of those other people in it, they're like, "Yeah, no, thank you. This is just something I do with my husband." Although my wife knows the system really well. I mean, to give you an idea, her favorite character class is psionicist, so she doesn't have a problem with mechanics. But
all right.
yeah, just as soon as she's done, I'm definitely want to
Cool.
go around to some of these
Yeah,
other
that'll be
places
good.
like what you're talking about, ShireCon, EggCon, CNYCon, maybe North Texas.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. And we have to get Bear to one of them too.
Nope.
No, he goes no.
Was it you that was saying that the driving across the border is a major pain
It's
in
a
the ass?
nightmare for
It's a
Canadians
nightmare.
right now.
Well, maybe
They're
in
just they're
a couple
treating
of
us
years
like,
it'll clear up.
hopefully, because it's been like really weird. You know what I mean? Like all of us, we used to go shopping, like I said, in Plattsburgh, right across the border. We go down to Burlington to visit a friend who's in Burlington, in Vermont. Haven't been in 5 years. You know what I mean? Like no one wants to go anymore. First, the dollar tanked, which killed us on buying stuff from you guys. And then all this garbage started where they literally will randomly, they don't do it to everybody, but they will randomly ask to see your electronic devices, and you have to open them up for them, and they download everything off of your device and scan it. So heaven forbid you had the wrong political opinion at some point, right? And you made a post about something they didn't like, and now, and once you get banned by border access, if they say they deny you access to America, that's a lifetime ban for us. It's not something we can appeal. We
That's
can't
so
take it to
weird.
court.
I've never heard of any of
Same,
that.
same for coming into Canada. If you get banned from entry to Canada by the border services here, it's a lifetime ban. You're never allowed in the country.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's so weird.
they have so much power. I have a buddy who works for Border Services Canada, and like the power they have, they're trying to get them to carry guns now, and the union's fighting it, but they want to arm our border guards too. It's like, why? It's
I've got to
America.
take one of my puppies out. She's here behind me whining at me.
Aw, Pupper. Hello, Pupper. Tri-leg Pepper.
She's back there. She's our little bitty puppy.
You
got three
wouldn't be
legs.
trying to escape that there maid there, would you, bud?
Yeah.
Hey, hey.
She's got
Hey,
three
bud.
legs because she's got two brothers that are over 150
So-
pounds. in the
So
Oh
pack.
let's
my
get
God.
back onto our
Yeah,
topic
quite cool.
at hand here, and let's do some channel promotion. So I'm going to go down the list. I'm going to be changing this list up a little bit. So Troll Den Painting. Everyone take a look at Troll Den Painting. That's let's see. I can go bigger here. I have a little bit of control on this screen where I can at least zoom in. And so Ducato there. So Ducato Troll Den Painting. He has 525 subscribers. We should be able to start hyping his videos. Because I think that unlocks at 500. So hopefully that happens. RPG Grandma is incredible. She's another one at 518. She does a lot of Star Frontier stuff and a lot of old school stuff. So she's a great advocate for Star Frontiers. Probably one of the best channels out there for Star Frontiers. Then we have Shadow and Sun. Shadow
needs no more attention. Stop paying attention to Shadow.
No, Shadow needs attention. Shadow needs some help. I told Shadow, share me a screen because they sent him the invite for monetization, and he doesn't know how to actually get them to activate it or something. I got to take a look at.
You got to take a look at it because I've come to one conclusion with Shadow: he is a techno peasant.
Yeah, it's like that, and on top of that, when he does his restreams, I'm like, listen, let us join your restream. It'll spread more. More people will get to see your channel too, and he doesn't know how to do that either. I was like, no, there's a setting on your side that allows people to join in and piggyback off of.
This is why Shadow is officially Gen X, but I call him a boomer because he has a boomer's relationship with technology. It's really cute.
So Shadow's on there. Definitely check him out as well. James, so this is formerly DM James, and now he is just James. He has over 3,000, but I'm not sure if he wants to monetize any longer. RPG Grandpa is another one, or RP Grandpa. I hate the way that he has his name written there. But he's at 977, so he's close to 1,000. He does a lot of stuff OSE. Then Bad News Bards is a collective of a bunch of us. That is Jeff, and Jeff does a really great job, and he does a lot of collaboration live streams with myself, with Dan, with a whole bunch of us. We're always on there. He's at 319. Let's get him to 500. The Dan is Arbiter's Archive. So Dan does a lot of stuff with Hyperborea. That's his game of choice. And again, all of these people are people that collaborate with each other. We go onto each other's streams. We're inviting other people onto our streams. Jeff at Bad News Bards, I mean, he's been scoring some pretty big names for his interviews and everything. I mean, he's had I believe he had Alan Hammock on. He's had Professor DM, which is real surprising that he managed to pull him in on there.
He's been going on a lot of smaller channels lately.
Yeah, like much smaller channels. He's but yeah, he's been doing a lot of smaller channels, which again, I give him a lot of credit for doing that because he could stick to. Well, I probably still will go on to the Questing Beasts and those because they'll have the same promotional person. Working for they all part of the same PR firm.
The same marketing company.
Yeah, the same marketing company. But maybe that's why he's been somewhat avoiding that and hitting some of the smaller channels as well.
Who knows?
Plus, some of the smaller channels, they haven't been around long enough or large enough to be as controversial as mine.
Oh, please. Sweetheart, please. Everybody loves you. Shut up.
No, I have quite a few haters out there. Trust me.
Oh, darling, you don't have haters. I don't see people showing up in your chat to talk shit about you on a live stream.
No, that doesn't happen.
That's when you have haters.
A couple of times. Very rarely, and they all came from one of your fellow Canadians' YouTube channels.
No, shut up. Really? They're bad Canadians? I never heard about that before. We're just a fucking field of happy fucking fairies up here.
But no, I used to be able to search that, and I discovered the one time that on Facebook I had 600 plus bans, being blocked by 600 something plus people. So
damn.
I was like, oh,
that's cool. A sign you're on the right track.
Oh, yeah. That's
what do they say?
When I was a school teacher, I had probably about I'd probably say about 50% of my students liked me.
Well
About
done.
40% loved me. About 20% couldn't stand me, and the rest were indifferent, right? Whatever, worked out. And I was like, hey, I have twice as many that love me, or equal number that love me that hate me, and twice as many like me, as a teacher. And that's how I used my, basically thing. I was like, if I'm not really liked by certain selected, students, I'm perfectly happy with that. I know I'm doing my job.
I'm adopting, and it's gonna. If Shadow was here, he'd spit take the coffee he was drinking to hear me say this. But I am adopting a Shauner mentality
Mhm.
about the haters moving forward, which is if you don't have the courage to put your face on camera and put yourself out there, I
Mhm.
do not give a shit what you have to say about
Well,
negatively
yeah,
about
that's
people.
true too. Oh yeah, if I don't respect you, I don't care what your opinion is,
I'm done.
of
I'm
me.
done. Like I
That's a badge of
snapped,
honor.
man. I made a very nuanced and middle of the road post and video talking about the anti-culture we live in right now,
Hmm.
and I literally had someone quit my Patreon over politics,
Yeah,
and I'm just like, you know what? Fuck all y'all.
Mm.
Fuck all of you now. I'm not your dancing monkey for your $5 or $10 a month. I have to do only what you want, and I don't get to have
yeah,
my own voice, my own thoughts, my own feelings, my own opinions. Fuck you. You came here because of my creativity.
Yeah.
If you don't like when I have an opinion on something, get fucked.
yeah. Well,
But
that
the
was like those
$5
people
a month
that
they're
that,
giving you is for that.
that
Yeah.
attack Troll Lord
Sorry, what
Gaming
was that,
for.
Chris? What was that? Sorry, Chris was saying
I
something.
said the
Sorry.
$5 they're giving you a month is for you. It's for what you bring.
Yeah,
Thank you. All right. Sorry about that,
yeah.
Rich. I just
I
wanted to
was
hear what you
saying
said.
like that. That's like when Troll Lord Games came out and said, "Listen, we are a gaming company. We're a game publisher. We're only concerned about publishing good games." And they were attacked for it. They were attacked
Mhm.
for being apolitical. They said being apolitical is political. It's a political stance. And it was like, what? Like, so neutral. You can no longer be neutral with some of
Yeah.
these maniacs out
Yeah.
there. It's
You're
like,
with us or against us. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, but
Yeah.
this is the thing, right? So, like, as you know, Richard, from our conversations and from knowing me for a couple of years almost now, I'm very centrist in my views on things. I'm very much like
yeah,
there's some good ideas on one side, there's some good ideas on the other side, and there's a lot of bad ideas on both sides. Let's take what's good and make a better world out of it. Well, I might as well have said I'm coming to your house and raping your grandma,
yeah,
because the like being a centrist is a crime now. You're not allowed
yeah,
to have a nuanced view of things. Not at all.
yeah.
Pick a side. Join up. No. Gonna keep doing me, man.
You're gonna live the lyrics to Last Caress.
Until
I
they
got
want the
something to
independent vote.
say.
Until
I'm
they
sorry.
want the independent vote, then,
Yeah.
once you're past the primaries, then you could be a centrist again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
exactly.
prior to, at the time of primaries or just before, no, you have to be on one side of the line or the other.
Hey, I actually have a question for you, Rich, about something that I think was said. You were the person who I heard it from source on it. And this is going to be a little bit of a convoluted story, so stick with me. You've seen the channel Fireball Gazebo, right? Relatively new channel, but they just talk about D&D stuff. It's two guys. They usually pick a subject and they go into it. They had said something about the mini from the basic red box set that was made from the basic red box set fighter that's fighting the dragon
Right,
that you
right,
only
right.
see his back. And they had said they had made some comment about, well, we now know that was a woman. And I was like, no. And they were like, oh, well, he didn't take exception to it. And I was like, yeah, he did. And
Yeah,
I
he
put in and
came
I
out and
used
said,
it.
no, it wasn't.
Yeah. Where I'd heard it from was on Double D's channel, but he said that he had originally heard it from you. And I went and tried to type in the link that was shown in the screenshot that they had, and it just went to if you want to buy that picture. But there was one guy was like, no, all he said was this, and he took like 3 lines out of the PS that the anybody can play what they want to play. And I was like,
Hmm.
that's not all he said. And one, that wasn't about the mini, that was about playing D&D in general. And two, he said all this stuff above and all this stuff below. And they're like, no, you just made that up. And I was like, did you not notice that your quote started with PS, which stands for postscript, meaning a little add-on to the end?
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know
and
that.
this guy got really mad, calling me a liar, calling me a bigot, and I was like, no, this is what he actually
Is this
said.
over the Elmore painting and the Elmore figure?
Yeah.
Is that what we're
The
talking
Elmore
about?
figure that they turned
Yeah.
into, that they gender
That they
swapped.
made
I
a
wish
woman,
I wish I still had it, but I had Elmore on my old channel.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we interviewed Elmore, and Elmore did not make that as a woman. Ever.
Yeah, he even, the very first line of his quote was, "It's a man!" exclamation point.
Yep.
And then in a couple of lines down, he says something about anybody who thought it was a woman is either crazy or doesn't know what they're talking about. So like, yeah, that's pretty much taking exception to something. That means they just
Yeah.
overdo it.
Yeah, that was a silly thing to get involved with. I mean, it just goes to show you how Wizards of the Coast does not have the creative capacity to create something of their own. All they know how to do is reboot, alter, and destroy
Yeah.
what was previously done by people who were vastly more creative and innovative and whatnot. And they just don't have the talent pool. That's why they won't make their own setting. They
Yeah.
don't have the capacity to do it. They don't have
With-
the creativity to do it, and they don't have the balls to do it, because if they do it, if
They're
anything
making a
comes
mistake.
up, that is pushed back by that community, they have nobody else to point the finger at. Like they did with the Hadazee. They tried to blame the Hadazee fiasco with Star,
Right.
whatever it's called, Spelljammers.
Spelljammer, yeah.
The newest publication of Spelljammers, and they created that background that got the pushback, and then they tried to say, well, this came from TSR's Star Frontiers. I was like, no, it didn't. It came from them. All right, and they didn't want to own up to it, and they ended up having to remove it. They ended up I have a feeling that might have been Mike Merles, because then they threw him in the basement after that, and never to be seen again. Or
No, Mike Merle's got busted for the Zach Sabbath thing.
well, yeah, that
So he got
too.
fucked.
But I think that he was relegated even further, deeper into the basement.
Well, that's okay. He's working with, isn't he with Darrington Press? No, he's at Chaosium. He's with one of the other companies now.
He's with Chaosium.
And he's doing his own D&D clone now. So, he landed on his feet. He's fine.
I'm curious.
All of
what
those
they do.
guys left there, although they're not. I mean, Mike Merles could at least pull from 4E and make something a little bit better.
Well, Merles was a
4E.
huge booster. Merles was a huge booster of Nentir Vale as a setting.
Yeah,
He loved it.
but yeah, he was at least capable of making something new. Let's put
Let me
it
ask
that
you guys
way.
a question. You're all shocked. You're not shocked, but you're all like, oh my God, do they do this? They do that, blah, blah, blah. Have you never been to Seattle? Have you never been to the Pacific Northwest? This
No.
is what people are like up there.
Well, no,
I lived there
was in
for 8
Vancouver.
years.
I was in Vancouver when I was
Yeah.
16 months old, and I learned how to walk in Vancouver.
Well, congratulations, because you
basically
walked the
same-
fuck out of
same
there,
deal
so
for
well
me.
done.
But that was in 1973 to 76. So.
Yeah, no, the Pacific Northwest is just, it's absolutely absurd. You go to the interior, and it's
Morning,
all
Dan.
rednecks and hillbillies and lumberjacks and, what have you.
Well,
You get
you
to the
got the whole
coast where the
Greater
weather's
Island
nice,
going
there's
on.
no winter, and everybody's a fucking pussy. It's insane. It's insane how many pussies live in
He's
the
already
Pacific
out of
Northwest.
Chaosium?
Yeah, he's with Asmodee now.
Oh, okay.
That's what
He
Paul
was
says,
there
and I
for a
believe Paul.
second. Asmodee is a video game.
Yeah, but they're getting into TTRPGs and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That'll go nowhere.
But Chaosium is, I love my BRP, but Chaosium's become garbage woke nonsense too. Like they're losing their mind.
Well, that's because Peterson's not there anymore.
Well, yeah. But this is why, like, I'm just praying, because it seems like everybody else is getting the message that this shit doesn't sell, move on, and stop doing it, except for RPG companies. They all seem to be stuck forever in the the woke 1, woke 2.
Yeah,
Vancouver is nuts. I love Vancouver. It's a great city, but yeah, there's a lot of fucking shit in Vancouver. It's where the mountains flush their garbage out down the fucking Fraser. Right down the Fraser River, the shit just goes right through the port of Vancouver, baby.
But yeah, all these companies are selling to the complainers instead of the people who,
Well,
who
so
actually
Chris,
have the
Chris,
disposable money to pay. So
do you ever watch wrestling, professional wrestling, Chris?
If anybody
as a
wants to
kid,
join
yeah,
in, by the
Okay.
way, you can
So
jump
Vince
on in.
McMahon, at one point in time, Vince McMahon was getting a lot of shit from all these people, for how sexist and misogynist and
Yeah.
potentially racist wrestling was. You know what he said? You're not the people coming to my shows, so I don't give a fuck what
exactly.
you think.
Yeah, but these guys don't get that. Yeah.
Well, because they're all owned by corporations who are stuck in the fiscal responsibility. They have to grow every quarter, or their investors lose money, and blah blah
I
blah
think
blah blah.
Yeah, I think that's part of the reason that they've done all this supposed 180, which I don't think will be a 180, is they're like, oh, we got to pull all these guys that are our age that don't have kids in the house anymore and have disposable income back in, because all these blue haired complainers aren't buying our shit. They're just
Yeah, but
complaining.
did you watch the fucking show, the live the keynote address they did at Gen Con?
I didn't watch it all the way through. I watched through
I
about
watched
5 minutes after the Dark Sun thing.
Oh, dude, I watched the whole fucking thing.
Now I know they had plenty of the other stuff, and even with what they mixed in, it was they had stuff bad. Like
Chris.
the guy that presented the Dark Sun stuff. It was like, who? Why did they have him?
Okay, Chris, my brother in Christ, listen to me, brother. They paid lip service to the idea that they were going to make amends to the old crowd. They
That's
even
what
said,
I'm
you know,
saying.
oh, we screwed up, and then they immediately just announced a whole bunch of new bullshit none of us would ever be interested in.
Yeah, that's what I'm
They
saying.
don't care. They're just paying
That's
lip
just
service. And I swear to fuck, I don't give a fuck what Joe Magalogo thinks. I don't give a fuck what this guy thinks. I don't give a shit. He does not influence my D&D or my role-playing or my fantasy consumption in one fucking iota. He is nothing. You know, it's like these people are absolutely absurd, man. Like they just talked a lot of nonsense. They brought people on. The crowd was dead.
Yeah, I
It was
noticed
gr-
that.
it was-
Oh
it was
yeah,
gone
no, the
mild.
crowd was dead.
The
If you
guy
have
had
to keep
the
on trying to hype up a
and they were
crowd
just like,
to make
"Ooh."
noise at an announcement thing,
Yeah,
that
and you
was
keep hearing that little group making noise. They all worked for WotC, I guarantee
yeah,
you.
it was
And there were
dead.
there
I
were
was like,
even
wow,
open
there's
seats.
no enthusiasm on that stage whatsoever.
Zero.
And it
Yeah,
didn't look like
that
it was a
was
much bigger
sad.
theater than a decent sized movie theater either. It wasn't like a big, huge.
No,
I don't know, Paul. Well, you were at Gen Con. How big was the building they rented out for that? Because apparently it was at a separate building that WotC did this. So who knows? But it was garbage, and it just left me going.
Yeah.
You don't care. You still don't care. You will never
Yeah.
care. You
still no
don't
apology,
understand.
still no, you know,
Yeah.
It's one of those things that if they didn't have a multi-billion-dollar corporation behind them, they'd had to have sold it off a long time ago.
yeah.
Well, yeah. And that corporation didn't
I
want
can
D and
see
D
that.
anyway. They only bought them for Magic. So you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like D&D is just a loss leader. What's another word? What is
A
it?
write-off.
Something magnet.
It's a write-off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
no,
get
it's
the
a
write-off,
loss
they're
leader.
lost
Loss
there.
leader's the perfect fucking thing. Ooh, Coca-Cola's on sale for 99 cents for a 2-liter. Oh, while I'm here, I might as well get this other stuff, right? Well, oh, D&D's got a new edition out. Well, while I'm here, I might as well pick up some Magic or some this or some that, right? It's absolutely absurd. It's garbage. Now, that said, I can shit on WotC and still appreciate the core base of 5e. I think it's still a good game at its core. But I can shit all over WotC for their politics, their marketing, and everything else they do.
And some people don't recognize that you can not like the corporation that builds it but still, not be, adamantly opposed to the game itself. Like some people think that they're one and the same. You either love WotC or, and you by default love D&D, or vice versa. If you hate WotC, then you must hate D&D as well. And it's like, no, they're not one and the same.
Yeah.
I have my problems.
Yeah, I'll say I don't like WotC D&D, but I don't say that anybody who does is a fucking dumbass. I understand different people are attracted to different things, enjoy different things. That's fine. I'm not fond of their style of D&D. Never have been.
My favorite
money they've
D&D
ever
is still
gotten from me-
BX.
Yeah, the only money they have ever gotten from me was when I bought. Where is it?
Just when I bought the original 5th edition is when that's the only time they got money from me.
Because in 1998 they finished that up after they bought out TSR. the third Planescape Monsters Compendium, and that's the only money they've ever got from me.
So,
But I understand people liking what they put out.
yeah. So let's shift gears a little bit. Bear, what's your impressions?
Not interested, thanks.
Not interested? Did you play the original?
Listen.
Did you know anything about the original or no?
No, I read the actual comics. So,
Yeah.
you know, for me, those original, what's it? Oh, Christ, what are the name of the guys who created it? One of them was married to Julie Strain.
Oh,
Laird
and Eastman. Yeah.
Laird and Eastman. I love the original comics. I don't like the Saturday morningification of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like, oh, bunga dude. I was like, whatever, fuck, that's nonsense. But that game never held any interest for me because I'm just not into. I'm not a furry. I'm not into that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Despite being Bear.
Yeah.
You know, what are you gonna do?
Hey, I intended to send you a message, Richard, but I accidentally sent it to my wife, and she's like, I don't think this was for me. But it was about when you were talking about that and the kid who had the buzzsaw.
Yeah.
You could make, you were talking about making maybe a special character type or class. You could make an NPC or a PC that he could play that maybe has a weapon similar to, what was the movie? Was it Thunderball, where he went to Japan, Bond did, and the guy had the skill saw blade that he could drop down and go, you know, it falls.
Oh yeah, no, there's definitely you can play robots in this. You can do any of that stuff. He could definitely play that kind of a character in there. So
and call it skill saw.
Yeah, that's definitely in there. So, and I think it'll play to a younger audience, and that'll be fun to play to. Hey, Paul's here. Sorry, Paul. I just noticed. I hope we weren't waiting long.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah,
no, I noticed that the chat froze some of the things that I typed out, and I was like, how dare I be censored? Free speech.
Joe Mangalangelo is a movie star. You don't ever talk bad about the man Jello.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's the anointed celebrity by Luke, so they're gonna keep using him and no, bow your head and close your eyes. Him and the glorious Tom Morello and Paul White, the wrestler known as the Big Show.
Yeah.
All play. Oh, they don't like to mention though that one of the dipshits that ruined Game of Thrones, one of those guys, one of the show's runners, is in there too. But Vince Vaughn's in there, and he's okay. But
this is absolutely true what Dan says
group.
here. They picked the lowest testosterone man to present Dark Sun.
Yeah,
really.
Every fucking person they brought out to talk about, I'm like, who? Who is this fucking person? Who is this rando fuck?
They looked at their assembled court and they were like, "Who is the eunuch that we could send out?" He was like, "Oh yes, I will talk about it. There shan't be nary a bikini or breast to be seen."
Yeah.
Oh no.
My favorite part
evil.
was the absolutely lukewarm response to Trisha Helfer, because like most of us, people are like, the chick from Battlestar Galactica, who gives a fuck about her? Like, seriously, what the fuck else has she done of consequence? Who gives a fuck about this lady?
Right.
Hey, if you brought out like Nathan Fillion, people would have, spurred in their pants, Like, if you're going to get celebrities, get the nerd celebrities that have some fucking cred to them.
Hot. She's at least
No, she's
hot.
not. No, she's not. She's not hot. She's scrawny as fuck. She was hot 20 years ago. Exactly.
She's still pretty
20 years ago, she was hot.
Was she the number 6, number 7,
yes,
whatever?
Number 6. Yeah. She was hot 20 years ago. Absolutely. Model hot, but hot. Now it's like, Grandma, get off the stage, Grandma. Grandma, get off the stage.
Yeah.
Stop wearing
The box wine is empty. Stop.
How about the one from Warcraft where she says, the CEO kind of wishes it wasn't called the World of Warcraft anymore, because Warcraft really kind of pinches it into. I was like, you're like the freaking brand representative, like a vice president brand representative.
Yeah, and you don't know that it came from
I wish it wasn't about war. I wish it was about something else other than
Flowercraft.
Butterflies.
Yeah.
And that's how they've destroyed it, from being the game that everybody talked about and played.
And it goes back to what Bear was saying again. Yeah. There you have an executive woman that has no concept, connection to what makes the damn thing sell. It was like,
Yeah.
listen, your audience is teenaged to mid-20s males. That's what it is. It's like trying to make an action adventure, movie where everyone is a Mary Sue, female pro female. It's like, no, you can have a female lead that is believable, that is still vulnerable but still tough as nails, i.e., Aliens, the Terminator movies. I mean, you have, even not even that. I mean, you can go back to Sally Field in what was that movie she was in where she was the labor leader and everything.
Oh yeah.
You can have Norma. No, it wasn't Norma Ray. What the hell was that called? I forget. Anyway, you could have strong female leads without them being Mary Sue's, or without them being completely infallible.
Yeah, you can even have the Nurse Ratchets,
Yeah.
Oh my God!
It's like,
No, that poor actress. I feel so. She had a great career. Rest in peace. She passed recently in the last couple of years, but I always felt bad for her. It's because I've never seen her play a likable character in a movie ever, and she was so good at playing miserable bitches that you actually hated her when watching a movie.
Like when she was on DS9 and
Kai Wynn. Oh, you just wanted to fucking hold the head under the water till the kicking stops, right? Like, yeah, totally.
Hey, Paul, I got a quick question for you. I'm just curious.
Yes, sir.
Is that a G.I. Joe bazooka?
Yes, it is.
That's what I thought. I was like, yep.
On 80s tees. You got to
I
get
couldn't
it when you
see the
can.
number on it, but I was like, that looks like Bazooka's shirt.
Number 4.
But yeah, Richard, it was Norma Ray was the movie that she.
It was Norma Ray, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, not to show off T-shirts, but I'm wearing my Cocaine Owlbear T-shirt. Ooh.
Oh, cool.
Well, I stood out
Got brought up on. There you go.
Slow children at play.
That's funny.
You know what that came from? We had a sign like that hanging around the neighborhood, and it eventually fell off. So I modified it slightly, added a comma.
Slow children.
Yeah, I added a comma right there to make it mean a little something different. Gave him a tortoise blade and a dagger.
There you go. I like turtles. But it's like there's a great one. There was one of the old memes I loved, which was the shot of the Virginia. And Virginia's slogan, they had the thing that said Virginia, and then at the bottom it said kids first, right? That was the whole thing they were doing. So this guy got a custom fucking plate that said beats. So his license plate said Virginia beats kids first. I tell you, man, before you do anything as a company, release it to the internet and see what jokes they make, and then go, okay, we got to fix this. Oh, shit.
My wife got
Hey, Steve, I saw that you did your post there on another YouTuber's channel with your AS8. I always forget it too. It's Astonishing Swordsman and Sorcerers. All right, of Hyperborea. So I had to write that just to get it in my head right. And he didn't understand it. He was like, I'm not familiar with that acronym, so he had no idea what you were talking about. We're talking about J. Scott Garibay. Steve jumped in there.
Oh, God, what has J. Scott Garibay done now?
Oh, no, he's still ranting on how... that's exactly what he said. That was his post there. Play that shit. And, Garibay was going on one of his OSR rants, and why OSR is not going to sell, or why James Intercasso, who quite frankly I don't know anything that he's actually done. I've never played anything that he's actually done or whatever.
He's working with Matt Colville right now. They did Draw Steel. They're working on
and he's like, oh, this is why Crows, I think, is the game they're working on.
Yeah, that's their dungeon crawl.
Yeah, so and how it's not OSR.
Okay.
Was he doing this rant while door dashing?
Of course. That's
Usually.
all of his rants while he's door dashing. You got a good nasal shot on him too during this video as well. So.
Unbelievable.
I mean, I guess you might as well. There's nothing else to do but just kind of sit around while you're driving. But he makes sure that a lot of people have cold food, I think.
I guarantee you. Craig, I'm supposed to be going. Just waiting to hear. I got a ride up. I got a hotel, but I don't know if I have a ride back because my ride up might have to go to Toronto
That's a
for
great
a day.
adventure.
So we'll figure it out.
Trapper's Lament is a great adventure for Hyperborea. Sorry, Bear.
That's okay. It's your show, man. You can be rude.
I got to jump out and shout out to people here. The OSR doesn't matter according to Garibay, but he runs his flapping maw every day ranting about the OSR.
Pretty much.
Guys, hate watches or views. He knows you're giving views. So if he talks about you, you're going to come and watch the stupid monkey.
It's the same thing with Double D, right? What is Double D's stuff? It's very, very polarizing. It's very one-sided. It's very aggressive. I don't agree with 99% of it, so I don't watch them. I have that ability as an adult to go, I don't like this person's content. I don't agree with this person's content. I'm not going to watch it. Sadly, it seems we are in the minority, those of us who are able to do that, because hate watching seems to be a fucking sport now.
Yeah,
D&D and DD. Exactly. D&D and DD.
But yeah, he does love to
it
on the...
it should be Dungeons and Door Dashing. That should be.
By the way, for anybody who is going to be a Clericon, you're going to be able to get a copy of Heroic 5e, the color edition, and it will be at a special Clericon price for you. So if you are coming to Clericon, come see me and buy a copy of the game.
Yeah, I think the OSR is in great shape. Yes, there are instances when there's too much of a glut into certain categories of it. Sure.
Yeah.
You know, their timing is oftentimes not well timed. I got into this recently, like someone was saying, hey, why do you think my Kickstarter is not doing well? And I was like, it's launching in August, which means it's going to finalize in September. And I was like, just to give you some insight, at least in the United States, and maybe just my regional as well. I don't know if everybody else's places is like this. Your property taxes and school taxes hit the end of September. All right. If your Kickstarter is ending in September or early October, nobody has money for that. It's like our tax bills are hitting that same time. You know, for a lot of people, you know, and I'm talking from like teachers or whatnot and everything, we're not making extra money during summer hours. You know, unless we're, you know, teaching summer school or whatever, but, you know, not every employee in schools are 12-month employees. They get paid just during the 12 months. So the summer months are lean months for some people. On top of that, a lot of us with our, you know, with our utility bills and everything, they're on those 12-month things, but then you get the balloon hits and in the summertime for the higher expenses during the winter time, you know, for like oil bills and everything, and they'll start hitting you. Well, here's the makeup cost of it. I get my electric bills like that. So I was like, so if you want me not to back something during the, you know, when you're running it, when you're starting it, do a September start or finish time Kickstarter or backer kit. I mean, the only thing that allows me to do backer kit more so is that backer kit will make you do like four monthly payments.
Yeah, Kickstarter has that now too.
Yeah, they started doing that now because they were losing so much to backer kit that they had to do that. But I was like, but otherwise, it's like, no, I'm just not in not in the position to drop $160 on multiple different, you know, things. Then some backer kits are just ridiculous. Their prices are way too high.
So I've crowdfunded on both, and as a crowdfunder, as someone making stuff, I much prefer working with Kickstarter. I find them easier to work with. There's more logic in their tools. Backer kit, you constantly have to be reaching out to them going, how do I do this? How do I do this? Your system is Byzantine and makes no sense. How do I do this? All we wanted to do was produce an Excel sheet that told us the following information: name of backer, email of backer, address if provided, what level they backed at, and what add-ons they had. You would think that would be a basic fucking thing, right? Click button, get report. Not in backer kit, man. We had to do 2 meetings with them to have them walk us through the whole thing and show us, we got to click this and then you got to add that. And it's like, man, Kickstarter just gave me that. right out of the gate as the list. Like here's the list of everybody and what they did. It's so weird. I don't understand how BackerKit does as well as they do at all when compared to Kickstarter, because I think Kickstarter is much better for producers, people who are making this stuff. It's easier. It's TTRPG, but not OSR focused. Claricon's not OSR focused, dude. I'm running Heroic 5e. I ran Valorous last year. I ran Heroic Classic the year before.
Yeah.
Father Aaron is very much like, just run what you want, man. Just, as long as you got people sitting at your table having a good time. There's this one guy shows up every year. It's almost rules light. He runs a Hardy Boys mystery adventure that everybody plays in. Apparently it's a big popular one. They had that Play-Doh monster game. They played that one year. Like, everyone thinks Claricon is OSR because there's a lot of OSR there, but it's not OSR. It's open to tons of stuff, I think. So I don't know.
As far as what Adino said there, yeah, as soon as I saw r/OSR, Reddit is, those people live in another universe.
Oh my God, Reddit is
that's the
worst.
thing. Because I had my buddy David on my show. He's the other GM we rotate on Fridays, and he was saying that Masks is very overrated. And I was like, how dare you? That's a shot across the bow at me. I love Masks. And it turns out that game keeps getting pushed by the Redditors as the game to play for superheroes. And I'm like, absolutely not. That game is perfect if only in the case if you want to play a Teen Titans or Young Justice game. If you're playing young, angsty heroes. That's it. It's a very narrow, it's a very small target, but it hits the bullseye. But they support it because it's Magpie Games, and they're one of like the anointed for their kind of political spectrum. So they keep pushing it, and it pisses me off because it's great mechanically, I believe. But because it falls into this whole political nonsense of games, then people are like, oh, you should just play it for everything to show that, you represent. And it's like, I'm not doing this to wave a flag. I'm doing this to have fun. What's the matter with you weirdos?
Sadly.
Yeah.
I can't wait to play in one of Dan's Hyperborea games. That'll be at CNY. I'm definitely going to get in one of those.
I kind of had to square the circle in my head as to why I love Hyperborea so much as compared to all of the OSR dross that's out there, of which I'd say about 85% of it falls within the sewage. And there's about 15% that's like, this is where the good stuff is. I think because it wasn't so precious with AD&D that it didn't realize, like, hey, there are really rough edges in AD&D. Like stuff that people just ignore. Even the guys that say, oh, I play at raw. And I go, oh, okay, so you play with the armor class depending on weapon, right? Like depending on what armor class you have. And they go, oh, God, nobody uses that chart. I'm like, you're not playing at raw then, are you? Because I play with that on Sundays. So
even Gary didn't play at raw. That's all I need to say.
Right.
Even Gary didn't play at raw. So,
but that's the thing, too. It's like Jeff worked with Gary designing stuff, and he wasn't so precious about being like, oh, no, I must not touch the Holy of Holies. He's like, no, I'm going to do this with my game. It's going to work off a lot of home stuff. I'm going to mix it in with AD&D. It's going to be its own thing. It's going to streamline things, but not rip its heart out like third edition did, where it's streamlined to the point where it's like, are we still playing D&D? No, we're playing is D20. And that's really that's where that started. Like the spirit of it started to wane when you hit third edition, because you're like, what the hell is this? Whereas Hyperborea, you play it and you're like, okay. He steeped it in a setting which is good. That's very rich, and people kind of understand. You're like, okay, this is Conan-esque. There's a lot more kind of Clark Ashton Smith in it. It's very strange. There's weird gods that people worship almost out of fear, which is great, because you're in the mysticism. Because that's another thing that pisses me off beyond belief is when people go and play a mythological world and go, let's insert all kinds of science into it. I know how to make fire, you primitive screwheads. And it's like, well, that's cool. The six-armed apes don't give a shit. They're going to beat you to death and eat your bones. They don't care if you have some knowledge in your head that you got in community college and you think you're, Einstein. Don't care. Whether it's beautifully refined, AD&D and Home's Basic pretty much. And that's what Jeff said. And every time he plays it, it's like, oh, okay. And he just, the guy has experience and ideas and put them on paper. There are guys in the OSR who are just like, I could put fancy wrapping paper on BX and I know I can grift a car payment or whatever. You know, some student loan payments for my kids off of people. I see that a lot in the OSR. So it's like, I don't blindly buy into it.
I played at Jeff's table twice. Both times my characters died, but he runs a great game. I hope Jeff goes the CNY upcoming this year.
So I bought Hyperborea.
Yeah.
And then I found out there's a new edition afterwards, and I have the wrong edition that doesn't have all the fixes and the updates and everything. And I'm like, fuck off, DM James. He was rubbing it in my face. He's like, oh, your book doesn't have this on it, therefore it's the wrong edition.
Well,
there's fuck.
It doesn't have half a page of errata. Yeah.
You could probably still get the addendum on online anyway, so you're good with that. And
I'm never going to run it. I'm good.
His setting box set is coming out in 2027, so
yeah, I'll be dead by then.
That I'm really looking forward to.
Jesus.
You're looking forward to me being dead? Jesus Christ, Richard.
It's like eternal sleep. I don't have to hear.
I'm gonna start calling you Dick now, just for that one. What's up, Dick? How's it going, Dick? You know, like Jesus Christ. Hey, I'm in Canada. I'm unemployed. We have two options: live on the street or maid. Those are our choices. You know.
Yeah.
No, I get the right time. It's just Dan. I was just making a joke. It was just a shot at DM James in case he's watching, because sometimes he's
Yeah, they're printing. So they're not editions. They're printings.
Whatever. I'm so tired of that fucking hair split. Troll Lord started that bullshit.
Everybody keeps on jumping in. They're really minor.
Everybody's telling me it's so minor. I don't care. I'm never running the game. It's all good.
Let's see. Oh, we're down to the last 4 minutes because, like I said, I wonder if Shadow's got his technology up again, because he wasn't able to. Tuesday night he was down. He had nothing going on. He wasn't able to game. He wasn't able to. I had people reaching out to me for him via phone. You know, basically they were chatting and telling me, "Hey, he's down. He's down and out."
He has nothing. He has nothing showing up on his
thing.
No announcements. There's no playlist announcements.
Well, because he probably wasn't able to record last night.
Yeah, nothing.
Were you running a Dragon Slayer, Bloodworth?
I ran Dragon Slayer leading into this current campaign. So I ran Dragon Slayer for about 12 weeks. Okay. And I was...
Because there's an argument of whether it's 1E or BX in the chat. So
it's closer to... It's like a mix between the two. But there is, there was nothing super impressive about it, to be honest with you. Nothing unique enough about it. Nothing that stood out. Even some of its minor rule changes and everything, I didn't find it carried it. And some of the omissions in the rule book itself, if you're using Descending Armor class, you need to have the combat matrix in the book. It's like, or you need to have a GM screen that has it on there. Giving me some formula to follow instead of just having the matrix in there is, to me, it's kind of cheesy. It's like you have all this other stuff dedicated in there that didn't need to be. It's like it just wasn't something that stood out to me as being uniquely different, like Hyperborea is. Like Hyperborea, I think, is just a much better game system.
Right.
I'm sure some of others will disagree with that, and I'll be like, "Oh, well, what, this or that," but before I buy, and I don't regret having bought Dragon Slayer, and it's a good system. It's just not unique enough. It's like part of that, it's just another clone that doesn't do anything, super different than
Right.
streamlining some of what was in AD&D. But I think that Hyperborea is much more closer to AD&D than BX. That's for certain. I'd say it scratches 1 inch, 1 inch more than BX. Dragon Slayer, yeah, maybe slightly more, but not to the full extent that the Hyperborea does.
Now,
Hyperborea's a game.
did they write Dragon Slayer just for it to be its own system, or did they write it so that they could then write write adventures and expansions and settings in that and be free of legal problems?
I mean, Dragon Slayer is mostly built on the mega dungeons that's already out there for it and everything. So
there's not a whole lot of not other than just I want to write my own mega dungeon. Basically, campaign expansion is not the right word, but and adventure is not quite the right word, but location for this, and I want to be able to use very similar terminology and the same mechanics to what I'm already used to using. That'd be the only reason to pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically what Dan says here is kind of where I'm at with it. I'd much rather run OSC. That is, again, another clone, but it just has a different feel to it.
I think OSC is probably the best of the lot. Let's be honest. I mean,
yeah,
everything else is, as Paul often says, which I agree with, is everything else is just, hey, here's the entire game again with my 3 house rules that could have been a pamphlet.
Yeah,
and it's just like, yeah, exactly.
Could have been an article in Knock or something like that instead. But they wanted to run a Kickstarter, get their quick $20,000. Now we can afford a vacation for the wife.
There's a couple of things that I'm writing that I want to be able to sell, so I'm like, well, I'm going to make this as close to 2E as I can get away with it. So I'll just use a cloned version of 2E, but it's not because I want a new system. It's because I want to be able to sell what I'm writing and be able to use the system I love and a system that I know that there's still a lot of people who are interested in, especially for it being also for the setting I like and just being another filing the serial number off of that.
Yeah, and I'm all for that. That was why for the longest time I was saying, like, all these guys have all this energy to want to make these games, and everybody agrees in the chat. It's like, why don't you just write adventures for OSC and all that if the thing was to avoid legal entanglements? And if you want to make your own game and then you just say, like, out to bat, we're here to make adventures, and then you come out with adventures, you're a step above already that 85%, because a lot of those guys are flash in the pan. They only print as much as they need for the Kickstarter and never again. I had a guy tell me on my show that Studio 2, the guys that do a lot of distribution, they're based out of Indianapolis. They always have at Origins and at Gen Con, they have an enormous 2-aisle thing where they're selling books for dozens of companies. They're like, when we fulfill for Kickstarters, we have enough for usually the backers, and then that's it. They're gone. They go to either print on demand or the game is never seen again. So it's a fly-by-night kind of operation where they're like, get the money and get out. We know there's people stupid enough to buy it. But if you want to make your game and then go, I have all these ideas for adventures, a world, and I'm going to publish all this stuff under the game, you are not in that category of the sewage already.
Yep, I agree.
Even if you only do one adventure, you're already above so many of those people. So,
I agree with that. 100%. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But I think at the same time, you can just make something for OSC, an adventure setting, what have you, and include your little house rules in there and go, hey, here's the rules we use at our table. You might want to consider adding them to your OSC game and still be ahead of the game versus I'm going to make a game, have to think up a name for it, make it, put it out, and then never touch it again. How many of those have come and gone? How many flash in the pans have there been at this point in time in the OSR, And they all, like, who's really done anything differently? What's his name? Chris has done something different. These guys, Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea, they've done something different. OSE basically qualified and sort of, codexed everything. Troll Lords did something different. They were the first to really do something different. Where's Labyrinth Lord these days?
They're supposed to come out with a new.
Yeah, fuck Dan Proctor.
You're like
Yeah.
supposed
Fuck that guy. You know what I mean? Like literally, when he licensed it to the Spaniards, they put out this. If you ever look up the Spanish edition of Labyrinth Lord, it's beautiful. It's insanely beautiful. And all of us kept saying to him in the Facebook, we were like, dude, find a way to license that art because you'll sell 1 million copies of that fucking book in English because people want it. It looks great. It has beautiful art. It has beautiful layout. No, I'm doing it my way. Okay, well then don't bitch because OSE is eating your lunch. And he got real salty because OSE ate his fucking lunch. Took it right off his plate and walked away. And, he and I were friends for a long time. Then he got mad at me over something because OSE was involved and he just got really shitty. And I'm like, all right, fuck you, buddy. This is the way you want to be. This is the way you want to be. And that's one of the problems we have in the hobby for publishers is there's a lot of people who are not business people. They don't know how to run a business. They might have a great idea, but they don't know how to run it. They don't know how to do anything with it. And they certainly don't know how to network at all. At all. And it's just horrible because so it's this line Alex Jones used to use about when he would talk about David Icke, the turd in the punch bowl. You know what I mean? It's like, there you go. So this is what they are. They become turds in the punch bowl. They throw them into all the system, and we have to deal with it. We all look at it, and OSR gets a stink from them. And that's one of the problems OSR has, is that there's that stink. Much as I don't like Lamentations of the Flame Princess, I can respect Raggy for doing his own thing.
Yep. That's why I stop by his booth every year at Gen Con. It's just this year the only new book that he had. Well, he had his own thing that he published, but it looked really flimsy compared to the really excellent new editions of Carcosa that he had. But as soon as I picked it up, and he's like, that's $160. I was like, I'm going to buy a t-shirt. Thank you, bye-bye. I got to go. Because, yeah,
what's your system, Sword Stones? What's your system, Swords and Stones? Tell us the name, where we can find it. Yeah, but no, I agree with you on that. Like, these prices
Still
are
working on it,
Like, I've tried to explain this to people buying Heroic 5e. I'm like, yes, there is a premium color version available. If you're buying it to give me money, don't. Because I've made the margin so tight on it, I make the least amount of money on that one so that you can have a hope of hoarding it. Because if I was going to make money on it, I'd have to sell it for $100. And I don't want to sell a fucking game for $100.
Sword and Stones, if you put in the private chat, you put the link to your free download, and then I can post it onto the message. That way it won't come up as spam.
But at this point in time, like Steve Kennedy said, and I've said this so many times, the world does not need another BX clone. We have enough of them.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It would be nice if the OSR player base would just coalesce around 4 or 5 of the systems and really promote them out there. And let them, run forward and, and establish themselves as, go-tos for many, many more people. And then, maybe 5 years down the road or anything, we'd have some room for, hey, maybe somebody will have a new innovative thought. Because there are too many that are just, changing 2 things, and maintaining the core of 90% of what was BX is just not, Attack of the Clones. It's just not, I don't think it's good for everybody, for anybody, involved in it. I think it's slowing everybody's growth down.
Well, it's bad for the hobby, period.
Yeah.
Right? It makes us look like Etsy. You know what I mean? It's like, who's the best beaded wallet maker on Etsy? You know what I mean? Like, who gives a shit? Well, if you're going to have this many goddamn D&D clones, eventually who gives a shit's going to kick in. And someone's going to sneak in with a new game that's going to resonate and put everybody to bed. And that's what OSE did at one point in the OSR movement. OSE came in and resonated, and people jumped on it. Then they got involved with that fucking company down in the U.S. that's their distributor, who are just the worst. And as a result, they now are in a weird place where they're considered premium. Like, holy fuck, we don't need any more premium games. We don't need any more BX clones. What we need is accessible material that actually has
Yeah.
something to bring to the table.
Was that Exalted Funeral?
Yeah, they're the worst.
I think the problem with Exalted Funeral was they started off as like, hey, look, we're gonna sell these really interesting eclectic games, and I was like, awesome. And then they started really pushing the whole, but we're really punk rock thing, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep an eye on that, and that outgrew that, and then they suddenly were like, no, we're like a boutique publisher, and it's like, oh Christ, here it comes. It always starts with that, where they go, yeah, this is punk. It's like anything that sells with the punk suffix.
Yeah.
That word they think is like a magical marketing term. Throw up punk, it's steampunk, diesel punk, ray punk, punk. And you're like, guys, some of us can see through the bullshit.
Wait. Paul?
Yes.
I have an
Yeah.
idea.
Oh,
We're going
shit.
to make a game. Here it is. You ready?
Yep.
Cozy Punk.
Oh, yeah. You gotta do
Ooh, now we're going to get some market.
Yeah,
I remember the first time
I've got to get out of here. My puppy's whining at me again, and it is about that time.
All right, Chris.
It's nice meeting you, Chris.
Thanks a lot
Nice
for
meeting you,
stopping
brother.
in.
Talk to
Take
you
it
guys.
easy, Chris.
Have a great one. Great game last night.
I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
All right, take care.
See you. Yeah, that just
So,
reminded me of the first time I was reading the event catalog and I read something was cozy horror. I was like, how do you do that?
How do you do? I'm
is
cozy
awesome.
and comfortable, but I'm scared to death. Well, that's where our new game coming out after Cozy Punk, Cozy Horror Punk. Oh, now we're cooking with heat. You don't want to miss out on this. Paul and I are going to be millionaires. We're going to make Kelsey look like a hobo by the time we're done. That's just the way it's going to be. You'll see.
We should lean into the hobo and just make Murder Boner, where it's a game where you kill anything that moves and you take all of its gold and you constantly level up and you get a bigger Murder Boner to kill more, and that's it. So, yeah.
Sad. It's just sad because the worst part is that most of the people in the OSR, we were there when the Magic was written, and there were always new games coming out every month, and they were different systems and different ideas, and we got into them, and we played Gangbusters, and we played Daredevils,
Right.
and we played Star Frontiers, and we played Top Secret, and we played all these things, but all we seem to have the capacity to make as games are D&D again. No more D&D. Here's one more look at D&D. Hey, here's D&D slightly tilted. Oh, you know, like, fuck.
Well, that's why I don't consider OSR to just be D&D derivative games. I was like, to me, OSR, if they came out with a second edition Bushido, that's an OSR game. All right, that's an awesome game, back then, or any of those other games back then. I mean, it's like there were just so many good. They have retro clones of Victory Games James Bond 007. I forget what it's called, but
there is one, yes, and I want to get it, but it's a little expensive for the POD because I prefer.
yeah, but
but I want to get it because I loved that fucking game back in the day.
yeah, I mean, that game introduced hero points. I mean, that was the first one that had inspiration, basically, or fame points or whatever. That mechanic was introduced with that game system. But yeah, I forget what the retro clone is called for that.
I didn't realize that because during the D20 glut, the one game that came out that was like, oh, we can take this and make it interesting, which was Spycraft. Had that. They had like the action die that every class had that you could spend to do like a crazy thing because they were saying it's more like a movie like James Bond.
Yep.
I was like, oh, I didn't. That's probably where it was from. They were like, hey, what was cool in the old James Bond game? Well, they had this point you could spend so that you wouldn't just roll a 1 on a D20 and it would become a clown show.
Oh, Classified.
Yes, that's it.
Classified.
Yeah. But this is the thing, right? Like, there's so many good games from back in the day that deserve new life.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate the new version of Chill. The one they did about 5-7 years ago or something like that. It's all these little tokens and flips. And a friend of mine knew the writers, so they were like, she's like, oh, my friend's a big Chill fan. You guys want to talk? And they're like, yeah. And then they were explaining the game to me. And I was just like, good luck, guys. Hope that goes well for you. But it was just like, this isn't Chill. I don't know what the hell this is. This is your own house system that you've managed to somehow get the rights to the name on. That's like an 80s Mustang
Yeah.
It ain't no Mustang, baby. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the way it is, So, I don't know, man. I don't know. But there's a lot of great games out there that deserve it. Also, by the way, not as I have any skin in this game, there's a lot of us producing indie games right now that are worth taking a look at, too.
Yeah.
But, like, for fuck's sake, Professor Dungeon Master's getting, what, $2 million or something for his thing, and when I finally get around to doing Heroic 5e, I'm going to have to fight for $5,000. Valorous.
Right.
We have a revised edition of Valorous coming, and, I'm going to use AI art again. Why? Because if I had not purchased a cover art and back cover art for that version of Valorous, I'd have made money on it by now.
Yeah.
Instead, I'm just about breaking even. I think 10 more sales, and I'll have broken even on what it cost me to buy the art.
Right. Yep.
This is the world we live in, and it just makes me so sad that someone can shit out their latest BX, white box, whatever version clone is, and make, like Paul said, an easy car payment or a down payment on a vacation or whatever the case may be. But the rest of us, and I'm not trying to be, woe is me, are out here trying to produce something we love, something that has some heart to it, something that we really believe in, and we have to fight for a fraction of that money. Because no one gives a fuck unless it's D&D, and I'm just so sick of that fucking attitude in our hobby of D&D. I have D&D fatigue. There we go. That's it. D&D fatigue.
That's why I try not to talk about it too much, because I don't want to seem too negative on the RPG hobby, considering, I'm going to get a shelf full of RPGs behind me, so it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. But D&D, it's like, I've played it. I've played enough of it for, for my lifetime, I think.
That's why,
I don't need to keep playing
that's why with my, Castles and Crusades is not so drastically different from it, but that's why I'm incorporating so many other things into it, just to make it, make it play out differently, make it, feel different, and, and so far, I've been having a lot of fun. My player whose character died, still having fun, and, working, going well with it. So, I think it'll be a while. Like, once I'm done with this BX experiment I'm trying to do during the summertime, but it'll probably be a long while before I go back to doing Dungeons and Dragons again. No, I got a text. I was like, no, I'm not interested in that.
I do not wish to speak.
But anyway, I am going to be wrapping this up because my wife and daughter are already on the road on their way home. And I'm guessing Shadow is not up and running today. So
no, nothing. I'm actually
one more time, everybody, look at all of the people that have been on this on the chat and in the channel. Look at my featured channels on my homepage on YouTube. And follow back, subscribe, everybody that is on there. I'm going to include Bears on there because he is desperate for some United States crossover.
Always. No, dude, hang on. I need to make this clear because people give me shit about this and it's starting to piss me off. I love Americans. I've always loved Americans. I may not like your country sometimes. I may not like your corporation sometimes, but I love American people. You are the best of us.
And cross over into the Great White North there and back some great Canadians out there as well. Paul has a channel. Paul's channel is pretty new, if I'm not wrong.
No, it's relatively new.
I've been around for 9 years, but I have 40 subs.
No. I didn't show up on a YouTube stream, I think, since November. That was the first time this past November. So I'm relatively new. First couple months, I do interviews of a lot of the indie RPG guys or board game guys that I run into at conventions. And I'm on like 5 or 6 episodes or something. It started with Shadow, actually. We keep bringing up Shadow. See, he's like a nexus. We're caught in his grave.
A linchpin, if you will.
Yeah, he's the hero.
Yeah, we will definitely get. I'll definitely put you up on there too, Paul. Because February 1st is the freaking deadline. That's when they're going to make it where you need 8,000 views or 20
If I,
million.
you know what? I would be
20
really happy if I
million.
could get my 500 now. If I could get that last 100 and whatever it is I need to get to 500 so I can monetize under the old rules. Because
Yeah.
I miss.
Right.
I'll tell you why. It's real simple. When I ran my live games, I had a super chat luck point thing for the players, right? If people gave $5 or more, they got to buy a luck point. They gave $10 or more, they could buy a complication for the players and throw a monkey spammers. And we used to have so much fun with that. And we used to have
Yeah.
a great time with that.
Yeah.
But now I can't monetize, so yeah. So monetize me, baby. Get me my
And
500.
monetizing isn't so much about, like, none of us are making big money monetizing.
No.
Not none of us are. Hell no. It's not even about that.
Yeah.
You know what it's about? It's about I might get $80 in a good month. All right. So $80 in a good month covers my cost for, this for,
Yeah. Like the $100 or whatever I'd get. Yeah,
know,
it covers my
for
restreamers
restreaming,
thing.
might
Yeah,
allow
yeah.
me to, might allow me to pick up a copy because nobody sends me anything. I buy everything. All right. So I might be like, hey, that's a pretty cool Kickstarter. I'll back it. Or, hey, you have a new product out there that I'm actually interested in reading, playing, running. And then it allows me to buy those things without having to tap into my other, regular income, my pensioner income. You know what I'm saying? So it helps me reinvest back into the hobby. But it's not about getting to, hey, I'm making $20,000 a month. Not going to happen. All right. I think for the most part, those days are gone, especially for the OSR. They're not happening for the OSR. And that's why I encourage everybody to support each other and to boost everybody's up. We're not all taking bites from the same pie. The pie is much, much bigger that we can help everybody grow within our little niche within a niche. And we don't have to look at each other like we're any kind of competition or anything like that, where, even if we have all of the same follower, who cares? It's not that much. When people are doing joint streams, I will bounce to every single stream and like them all. Even while they're up and running, and just hit them all with a like. Throw a comment in all of them, if you can. And do the same thing here on this stream here. Go in, hit everybody's channel, say, hey, I saw you at this, and that's it. And just boost everybody up. Let's get all of our favorite people out there, our favorite creators out there, up to at least the 500, if not the 1,000, by the time February 1st rolls around.
Yeah, and even if it seems silly, drop a comment. Just be like, "Hey, good show."
Yeah,
Even if it's
just
you
don't
think it's like
for the algorithm, that doesn't count. Yeah,
Yeah.
that does not
Yeah,
count.
they-
They specifically filter that out. It means nothing. So just go in there and say, hey, I really like what you're doing here. That's a perfect, simple, cut and paste comment that you can do. Throw a thumbs up on there. If you really like the content, share it. That helps a lot too. And boost everybody up out there. All right. I'll try to sub to everyone. Why not? It's free. Yes. I have something like, I sub to something like 300 channels. I'm not telling you to sub to a channel and then just be a forever sub, even though they haven't produced anything in 10 years. All right. Give that activity to people who are active, so don't feel like, I have to follow some channel that's a dead channel. No. Encourage them to post some new stuff up there too. Hey, I haven't seen you in a while. You're going to put something up soon? Encourage them to come back to it.
You guys have no idea how much interaction means to us as creators.
Yeah.
Because unless we're complete, absolute, sociopathic egomaniacs who are just creating because we think we're brilliant, we all survive from having interaction and feedback from people. Just like DMs need players to talk, creators need people to talk about what we're doing as well and talk with us and talk with each other. And if you don't do that, it's great that you're consuming, but it's nice to have the interaction. It fuels us and makes us want to make more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I like doing the live interviews. I really like the questions from the audience. It makes it more dynamic. It makes it less like I'm staring at a index card and being like, so you made this game in 1994. What was that like? Instead, it's people asking, hey, you going to any cons? What's your game like? Have you played X, Y, and Z? And then we talk as gamers almost to each other, and it humanizes it instead of it being a breakdown of facts.
Humanized? What are you, crazy?
Even if it's an OI, Stephen. And make sure you put your AS and AH play that shit on there too. That's always helpful.
I got to bounce. I'm going live.
Everyone,
You've inspired me, by the way,
everyone,
Richard.
thanks a lot. You'll have a good one. And I will see you next time. Next Tuesday for this kind of a stream. And this Sunday live stream interviewing Dave and George from Emperor's Choice. We'll be talking about Art to Win. Have a good one, everyone.